You are listening to Shoot and Scoop,
The Flames of War, Team Yankee,
Federation,
Nam and Great War podcast that tries to make sense of the weird and wonderful world of
50mm wargaming, with our tongues firmly in our cheeks,
our panzers flat to the ground, and our dice, more often than not, ready to shoot and scoot every episode.
We invite you to join us on our many hobby misadventures on Facebook
and on the blog at breakthroughassault.co.uk.
And a shop online at Battlefield Hobbies, because Hammy is not rah-rah Rasputin, love of the Russian Queen.
If nice dice are your vice, then be sure to check out our Dice of War, our dice sponsor here at Shoot and Scoot.
And if you need bunkers to bust, to bust or to barns to go too fast on, then head over to frontlineterrain.square.site, our awesome terrain sponsor.
Terrain.
Oh yeah.
If you'd like to contribute to this continued failed cross-check of a podcast, you can now also become a Patron supporter by following the link in the Breakthrough Assault blog.
Pay £1 a month for your chance to also become internet famous.
I'm Eddie Fez, I've got the best wife ever, Turner, broadcasting from somewhere in the south of England. I'm joined by my co-host, Duncan, sexy voice Gosling.
Hello.
And Lee, adorable laugh Parnell.
I feel touched to be called adorable in any capacity, so thanks.
Welcome to episode 100, the one where we don't need a subtitle. Lee, what are we talking about tonight?
Absolute drivel, same as always.
Absolute drivel.
100 episodes of nothing.
Celebrating mediocrity.
Yeah. It's what made Britain great.
It was the one where we don't need a subtitle, or the one where I'm amazed we still have a clean rating.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's it. Every day's an adventure as far as that's concerned.
Just bleeping everything out.
Yeah, how has that happened for 100 episodes? Like, we had Coxer on here. Like, how was that a clean episode? I mean, God.
I was just thinking, you know what we should do? Maybe for the April Fool episode is like pay that cameo thing that people get like some sort of minor celebrity to do this.
I thought we were minor celebrities.
No. But like probably
like on the actual alphabet scale, like a proper Z-lister.
Like Paul Barry. Yeah, Paul Chuckle. Let's get Paul Chuckle to do it.
Oh my God,
Hasselhoff, but okay,
no, I can't do Hasselhoff. He's American.
He's a star lister, right?
Yeah.
He does cameo.
Hold on, let me have a look on cameo. You carry on.
He's probably not
I've got an account weirdly.
He's bigger in Germany though.
Yeah, can you do it in German? In German.
Yeah,
he needs to do it in German.
Lee, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, we don't know it.
No, we haven't. I'm trying to get us back on track.
This is the third time we've tried to do it.
Okay, so tonight we are going to be doing a special episode 100. We'll be covering Internet Famous, as always. Say hello to our new patrons. We'll be talking about what we've been painting in Faces Bases. Talking about what we've been playing in News on the Front.
Lee, you're totally right. We have done this bit, haven't we?
Yes, I thought so.
I thought we hadn't. No, we have done that bit.
It's the bit where he goes over to. It's the bit where he cuts to you to say, "We're doing." What?
Yeah. So Duncan, what have you been painting?
Nothing. Still nothing.
Punches. What?
No, I've been nothing. No, I've been assembling. I've got, and it's not Flames of War. I haven't played any Flames of War or done anything Flames of War related since Warfare.
I mean, that was before the last episode, so
before the end times. I know.
Yeah.
But no, I've got some stuff. You got some stuff to haul back for me, so I can finish my Task Force A stuff off.
Yes.
And then I've been putting together my Dwarf Kings of War / Old World army that Chris has printed for me kindly. I need to get some more actually because you can't have enough.
Never have enough.
Never have enough. And what else have I been putting together? Oh, Star Wars Legion.
Okay.
So I got some Star Wars Legion because I like
expanding the envelope.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like Warfare always taxes my brain, like any tournament does, and then I have to untax it.
Palette cleanse.
Yeah, just have a little bit of a stop. And the other thing is, I want to see where we go next, like on this mad roller coaster of Battlefront releases.
Battlefront release schedule dictating our lives. Yeah.
Well, just because I'm looking at, I've got like almost all the stuff for Flames. The only thing I was thinking about doing maybe was revisiting my DAC because I don't like my DAC infantry, and I think I've said that a number of times.
You have, yes, but
yeah,
that's still
it might have to be revisited. like Brideshead.
That's fair enough.
But yeah,
Nice.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait for the new year. I'm waiting for some inspiration. And I've got a lot of children still to paint, so I'm,
Children.
yeah. Lee's got some children that I need to
More
finish
children
painting.
and
More
Boris
children,
Johnson family reunion.
yeah, but less fathers. So the Lord giveth. Yeah, I'm still quite looking forward to that. I played one game with them.
Mhm.
I did play a Cat Flames War game with my German late war stuff, and the ambushing Volks, Hitler Youth,
Hit the
sorry,
youth. Yep.
lovely,
Told you.
lovely,
What did
lovely.
I say?
It's even more hilarious when they shoot Panzerfaust at infantry and kill them on the way. And
Yep. What?
yeah, well, they're assaulting you. You still get to fire, don't you? Slow firing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
still firepower 5, so it's got a decent chance. It's
Yeah.
got a chance of digging someone out.
and you
like
can
one
scream
shot 50
Rocket Man a
kills.
lot at people. So
Rocket Man!
exactly. It's all good. It's fantastic. It was very enjoyable. Take that, Canadian Sherman. Yeah, assault me, would you? Grr.
Patron.
So yeah,
Grr.
Oh, more, and I get my tank hunter pouch hands.
they're good fun. The old men just sort of sat there, and the Panzer Grenadiers, the actual veteran Panzer Grenadiers, were fantastic, but completely just running around like headless chickens trying to plug all these fires. So yeah, I've got those to do, and I was talking to Luke about that tournament thing or the event day in for Team Yankee. He couldn't find the tickets on the website, so I might have to ask you for the link because I'm thinking about that now.
No, I did the same. It doesn't come up one way.
Did you have
I
special
will send them to you.
dispensation?
No, I thought the same thing. It's not in their list of events, but the event tickets are on the website somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to get mine sorted out as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Purchased
for that I want to
mine.
take the Iranians.
That's going to be such a stupid matchup.
Yep, it's gonna be hilarious.
What have you got? 20 jeeps. What have you got? 300 infantry.
Well, it's not the 20 jeeps. It's more. Oh, you brought a Challenger too, have you? Oh, that's cute. It's just a machine gun carrier now.
I mean, Brutal does do a lot of heavy lifting there as well. So
Yeah, but it's only going to be 2 stands. And
well, you can't dig in, can you?
Nope,
So that's
don't care. Can't dig
don't
in.
care about digging in. Doesn't need. Yes, it's just machine
Nope.
guns. It's all you're going to need. You're going to
It
run out of
really
bullets
says it
before
is.
you.
Yep. All of
Bring
the
out
Allah,
barrels.
some of the Akbar. Yep. I'm going to enjoy myself. No one else is, but I'm going to enjoy myself.
Nice.
I'll put the MLRS in then.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh, as they throw themselves 400 feet in the air. Yeah, exactly.
Rapidly disassemble.
Yep. But no, I haven't really done much painting. It's been sticking stuff together, and I have to put myself through this because I need a palette cleanser, and then I have to put stuff together, and then I really hate assembling stuff. So it reminds me
We
that
should just align forces, shouldn't we?
just you can assemble
I
stuff,
can just
and I'll
build
just
it
try and
and
paint
then
it.
you can
Yeah,
just paint it. Yeah.
I really hate it. Like these Star Wars Legion models are stupid as well. They got like, ugh. They're like the new Space Marines, with the split arm guards.
Yeah.
They've got like, oh, this is the torso and this is the leg of one of the Mandalorian. Oh, okay, yep, right. Jesus.
Which faction are you doing? Mandalorians, are you? Is that what you
I'm
said?
doing Black Sun, so the mercenary. So I get to use my favourite Darth Maul.
Okay.
Yeah, and what else have I got in there? Mandalorians, some Pike Syndicate people. Yeah.
Mhm.
All of the scumbags, and I do get to use the cool trucks, and it did just make me think. I don't know why no one's done an Imperial Guard army using these little hover trucks that they've got. So they'd be perfect.
Are they roughly the same scale?
Yep,
Ah,
exactly. You could do a proper 40k Imperial army full of stormtroopers.
Nice.
I mean, there's a reason that Bolters were originally called blasters and original rules, so they could be.
Yeah.
You can use the old.
No original. Was it no such thing as original content? Yep.
It's back in 40k. It's maybe like a generic sci-fi rule set. So
Yep. Good old
that's why
generic.
power swords look more like lightsabers in the original.
How dare you? Laser swords? Surely they're copyrightable.
Last sword.
Las sword, yeah.
Last one.
What's powering this? Power. Oh, I see how that works. Super. But yeah, that's been mostly it. So nothing too exciting. Yeah, well, I say nothing too exciting. I mean nothing exciting at all. Nothing exciting at all.
I mean, it's entirely allowable to have like a boring time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's be exciting, right?
Well, does it? I don't know. I don't
Does
know
if you want
anymore.
more patrons.
Oh, I see. You start apologising to people. Yeah. Well,
episode 101, where not much happens.
yeah. Silencio. Yeah.
Well, I've not played any games.
I just realised we once again forgot to do Internet Famous first.
No, I remembered because I was about to go back in. I was going to segue off the Patreon bit, and then I thought I'll
Cool.
wait until the end of the painting bit. But yeah, let's go back to Internet Famous. Let's chop it up, shake
Yeah.
it around. We have
Eddie's got a lot of editing.
three. Yeah, it's a lot of editing. This is going to take pretty much all of Christmas. So good luck, guys. 3 internet patrons, 2 of which are new. So the first new internet famous patron is Ura Mac3, the best a man can get. Ura.
Urine?
I was trying not to go that far. Uriah? Oh, there you go. Uriah Mac 3, the best a man can get. Which I've now having tried to remember what the actual jingle was for that razor blade. It is
the
now
best a man can get.
It's now stuck in my brain. So Darren, for your own sanity, don't Google it because it just won't go away. Slightly little segue there. I once went on a 2.5 hour motorcycle ride. And just before I left, my sister jokingly said to me, instead of going autoglass repair, autoglass replace, she went, autoglass your hair, autoglass your face. And that's all I could think of for 2.5 hours on a motorcycle.
I thought you were going to say you crashed.
That A303. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Straight for a windscreen.
Thank God for that.
Replaced by autoglass. This episode's sponsor is Autoglass.
Autoglass repair.
Autoglass your hair, autoglass your face. It gets really dull after 2 hours.
Yep.
As we find out as I edit this into a continuous loop, just to make it release it, just to see how long Darren would listen to.
Episode 100, 10-hour loop version.
10-hour loop. Autoglass your hair, autoglass your face. Second internet famous Patreon extraordinaire is Brendan Nangle, Angle of the Dangle. Thank you very much, Brendan. And thank you very much. You're right. What did we say it was?
Uriah.
Yes.
Uriah and Brendan. There you go. Thank you very much for donating your hard-earned pennies to this endeavour. We've made it to episode 100, so there's now 100 episodes of back catalogue you can listen to, unless you've been listening from day one, in which case...
Or you're Darren.
Speaking of Darren, he says, reveal. Nice try, GCHQ. Signing up again and thinking that you can get in here and get a free mention, which I just gave you. Damn it!
Yeah.
No! I should have said that. Should not have said that. Yes. I'm hoping maybe I might have to cut this out if I don't do it, to do a full Patreon segue exclusive at the end. Not Patreon exclusive, Patreon shout out at the end, as it is episode 100, which you've made it to. It's 100.
That's a lot of names to murder.
There's a lot of names to murder.
I'm
going to see how quickly I can go through them, but I won't subject you guys to that because that would just be embarrassing. And then it'll make it exciting when you have to listen to it the first time. But Lee, what have you been painting?
I have been painting lavs.
And a lot of lav.
15mm toilets.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, it's the Australian version of the Lav 25 for Team Yankee.
So the Australians that is a Lav 25 by Down Under. Right?
Can someone say Lav 25 in an Australian accent? I feel like it needs it.
Lav 25?
Yeah, like it's a question. Lav 25, mate?
Yeah, take Lav 25 Down Under. The 20 mil it did thunder.
Oh God!
I think when they eventually got some purpose-built ones, they were called ASLAVs.
ASLAV. Throw another ASLAV on the Barbie.
G'day.
So the reason I'm asking this is I saw a picture of is it the Grizzly that is not a Lav 25, But it is a Lav 25 if you have no scale reference.
The Coyote is literally a Lav 25, and then the 6-wheel one is indeed the
Grizzly.
Is the Cougar, and the Grizzly
Right.
is the APC version.
What's the massive one that looks like a Lav 25 on steroids?
That's probably the modern one that's based on the Lav 3 chassis, same as the Striker. And that is called the Husky, I want to say. Darren's getting mad at me if you're not knowing.
The Husky?
Yeah, well, it's
I
kind of
the
like
Husky one.
Yeah, but it's not really striking the fear of God into anyone, is it? Huskies
well,
are lovely.
The APC versions of Bison.
I saw the reason is I saw on Facebook a picture of this Lav 25, and then there's just massive, twice as big next to it, and I was like,
so that's Australia. That's the Boxer. That's the
the Boxer, right?
Dutch German was once upon a time British, but he pulled out thinking they're never going to need it, and bought them later. With APC, yeah, that's a big boy.
Right, so that isn't in that. I've got completely the wrong end of the stick. I thought that was something to do with Canada, so it's not.
No, that's Australia. So Australia replaced their Lav 25s with Boxer.
Nice, excellent. Okay, well, and then you've been painting Australian Lav 25s, hopefully to.
Yeah, so I rushed out to 4 to get in before the end of November for get into my pet little painting groups like monthly progress thing, and now I'm just working on the remaining 2 4-tank troops and a HQ Trooper 2 plus an armor recovery vehicle version.
Oh, nice.
So
what's the recovery vehicle going to be? Like an ejectile?
Yeah, so I'm painting it separately, and then what I'm going to do is probably mount it to a base with something dangling from the crane. I'm thinking of BMP turret.
Did you get Brendan Dangle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help me with the angle of the dangle.
Hold on, could it be Hasselhoff? Have we missed a trick here?
Could the crane be over the Berlin Wall?
Yeah. Freedom.
I think it could be.
With some Aussies. No, it'd have to be. It couldn't be Hasselhoff. That's ridiculous. It is. Don't be so stupid. It's Australian. It'd have to be Jason Donovan.
Kylie
Minogue. Yeah. It's going to be Kylie Minogue, isn't it?
Yeah, but she'd be. You'd have to get a 6 mil figure to make her look like the right scale.
Scale appropriate for twins.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
He says, "Is that all? Is that all?" But that's still
we'll try and get those done.
I mean, the thing about this is it's 3-color camo to Lee's exquisite standard, isn't it? So it's not as if it's a quick jobby.
No, I think you've undersold that quite a lot, Lee. Frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem I've got also, guys, I want to get these done for the 20th. I just don't, because I am painting to that standard. I'm not trying to rush job it. I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to take some T80s and just have a little of a time running around with some big boy battle tanks.
Nice.
So, Eddie, what have you been painting?
I painted my Warfare army. The night before Warfare.
Did. As usual.
Yeah.
And nothing since?
Well, I've had the in-law staying with us. It's a hobby. Put away Hobby Desert, and then I've had November is going to always be the busiest month of my new work calendar. So I had to do some big boy work stuff, which has got in the way of.
You say that now. You wait till there's an election, mate, and then all the rules change.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Then you won't be saying it's the busiest month of your year.
Nervous laughter. Well, we're quite protected. It takes time to get to our level, so I should be. Oh God. Anyway, November's going to be busy going forward. So I've had a very, very busy month, and now the plus side of that is I've generated quite a few days off in lieu, which gives me a decent break over Christmas, which I am excited about.
So when you get some games in,
get some decent hobby time assigned, which is going to be good.
You better have a significant portion of that as just eating cheese. That's all I'm saying, because that's what Christmas is all about.
Yeah, entirely.
Yeah. Eating your own body weight in brie.
The cheese, the extended family Christmas has shifted somewhat, so Christmas Day will just be Chinese food and cheese. which is the
Chinese food and cheese.
the little
You
Hampton
can't have
Turner.
Chinese. You can't have Chinese and cheese. This doesn't work.
You
surely.
just watch me, Duncan.
But that doesn't.
It's like how Japanese have fried chicken for like Christmas meal.
Do they?
Oh, because
They're doing things right, aren't
KFC did it as a whole marketing thing. Yeah, and you had to order your Christmas KFC months in advance to actually get your order on Christmas Day.
they? Of Unlucky Fried Kitten.
There's some good, or some Unlucky Fried Kitten. They do like Christmas meals and stuff. There's some good. Abroad in Japan is a good YouTube video of a guy who lives out there.
I wouldn't be googling that on the open internet. I'm just saying.
In YouTube, you should be fine. Abroad in
Yeah,
Japan is the
yeah.
channel. A guy called Chris.
Don't just stick it into
Chris Broad.
to Google. God, come back with all sorts.
But it's fantastic videos on that kind of thing. But painting wise, my SS Bad Boy Tigers and my Sturm Tiger for Warfare, which I got done just about before. I mean, then I say done. They are Fez tabletop ready.
I like the fact you went with the smallest model count you probably can do for a 100-point-ish game, and you still had to like be painting at the last minute.
Well, that's because the day before the tournament, I ended up running the tournament.
That is true. There was some issues.
As we'll discuss in a minute, yes.
As we'll discuss in a minute, but I didn't think it looked too bad.
Yeah, you look all right, yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm all about shifting the other direction at the moment.
Oh God, this is your new plan, isn't it? That everything it's all about pace.
Yep, speed.
Slap chop.
Well, not that. That's some
what
internet.
is slap chop? Like,
It's
I'm
speed
sounding really old
painting.
now. It's like, is that an app thing?
I think it's when you video yourself slapping someone, and then you put it on YouTube.
And then you get chopped from the internet.
Okay.
If I have understood it correctly, slap chop is just the idea of doing a azimuthal highlight with a spray can. So
right.
Spray it a dark colour, then spray white from above.
Well, it's dry brush. You dry brush it on, but it's the same sort of principle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
a spray can would be quicker. Why don't you do that, you idiots?
Yeah. Already cut it down.
Amateurs.
Jeez, it's not that fast, is it?
I've got shares in Plastic Soldier Company base colour sprays for the same reason.
So you do that, and then what do you do? Like
and
contrast
then you basically
paints?
do like a watered down contrast paint, whatever thing over the top. So
yeah, 2 coats.
It's slapping some base coats on over an azimuth or highlight to make it look better than the bare plastic nightmares that inhabit my dreams.
It makes it look like I think it's basically to improve the look of contrast painted models, so it gives them more contrast effectively.
Yeah.
More contrast.
Well, it gives it contrast. So the problem with contrast paints is obviously it thins over the raised portion of the model, which may not necessarily be the bit you want to highlight.
Mm-hmm.
So when you use the spray or the azimuth dry brush, it creates the highlights. It's pre-shaded. It's a pre-shaded contrast paint. That's all it is. And then they've given it it's been around for ages with glazes and stuff like that. It's just they've given it a fancy name and it's become a big thing.
Is this the hipsters' fault?
Look, I'm just
asking.
Me, Duncan.
Yeah, I'm just asking because if it is, I need to get on this because otherwise this is letting the slide
it's just
down.
it's a different method that's been around for years. It's been given a fancy name and people are acting like it's brand new. But the main concept really is, and this is a thing for me, he says next year.
Oh God!
To just try and get some paint on the model, And the main problem I have is I jump so frequently between game systems on Monday.
No.
Games. Yeah, I know.
No, come on now.
It's the opposite of the Hobby Butterfly. The Wheel of Fez Misfortune was not a good idea.
Was it not?
No, it's always. Why don't you say something, Duncan? You just let me walk into that blindly and laugh the entire time.
Well, because you were so adamant about it. The problem is, Eddie, if you get something in your head like that, sometimes it's just better to get out of the way and then look at it and go, oh, yeah.
That's entirely true. I did believe in myself at the same time as well. The hubris was high. But
the hubris... We all believed in it to start off with, but when we got to like the 6th week of it and you were just... hadn't actually done anything in the first 5 weeks, we started having our doubts.
Well, no, it's when you started claiming that painting one colour on one thing was actually was the progress. Okay. It was like,
it's all about progress. It's all about progress.
And the manipulation of the law was quite spectacular to watch.
Yeah, it's good practice, honestly.
The hubris was high. Yeah, what is it? Are you a bloody Horus Heresy character now? Oh, my hubris took over.
Tiny Horus Heresy and big Horus Heresy.
Yeah, there you go.
I just get excited.
Yes, you do. Which is very enthusiastic.
Yeah, it's great, and then it's not
a bad thing.
Takes longer than I want to get things ready. or actually I just don't allocate time to it and sit there and
Well,
put the effort in and want the
you
reports.
should probably just outsource stuff at this point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I build your models, you can paint them for me. Job done.
Oh, I see.
Just outsource to you. Is that not what you meant?
No, I was going to outsource mine to Lee.
Oh, excellent. Lee can do all of ours.
Yeah, that's what.
If I give them to you, then you give them to Lee. And then
Oh my god, this is like watching.
Lee just paints
Rich Hardy is quivering at the moment, like in a corner, like all of his cheese all out of alignment. This is like capitalism in a microcosm. So Lee, I'll pay
division of labour. Yes.
Yeah, I'll pay you 10p to paint this model. Eddie, it's going to cost you 20p to have this model painted.
Oh, he's a bonus. All right, keep that. Nice. There we go. Yeah. So SS King Tigers, my Storm Tiger. That's. Did I do anything else? Built some models for aliens, but didn't progress those.
Did you do anything on your Space Dwarves? I don't know what they're called. Stupid name.
Squats.
Space
It's still
Dwarves.
called squats.
It's still called
Yeah.
squats in Necromunda.
They're not called squats though, are they? They're called
No,
something.
they are now.
In Necromunda, they're still
In
squats.
Necromunda, they're
Really?
squat prospectors.
Mhm.
Yes, they're not.
For God's sake, what is wrong with them? Like, why can't they just stick to
Necromunda
something?
is its own little thing. I built a 40k biker model for those, which is for the next campaign. In the next,
Is it a trike or is it a bike?
It's the trike. It's the
I was going
anti-grav
to say, it
trike.
better be a trike or else that's it. I'm going to blackball you right now.
Yeah. No, it's the anti-grav trike. I
Yeah.
bought just the
Jesus.
one off eBay and built that up as a biker for the next campaign, which is going to be good.
Do you try and convert it so it looks more like the Necromunda style, or is it
Not
just
really, because it does really. All I did, I mean, because it's
I
got
suppose
something.
it works. They're the ones wearing the big jackets, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they've got the big jackets.
Hmm.
They've got gear all over their bike, like stuff, like they actually looks really good. I think. It's a terrible idea to put a squat on a bike because in Necromunda, the second you get shot, you have to take an initiative test to avoid falling off. And dwarves generally do not have good initiative, namely a 5. And if you fail, you fall off and take damage from the speed that you were doing the past turn. And the whole idea is,
no,
yeah, it's bad. It's a bad.
Do they have
idea.
like special boots to reach the pedals and things like that, or like the handlebars?
I think they just make it the right size for them, Dunk.
Ah, yeah, smart. Good idea. Yeah. That
so
checks out.
100, the one where we get cancelled.
Yeah, that's the track. Yep,
that's the extra. This is going to be a lot of work to edit.
I just don't put it out. I wouldn't bother editing it at this point.
Just delete it.
Just
not
a
actually
glorious
recording
hot
anymore.
mess.
This is just my community service. It's talking to you two.
Yeah. Well, it's cheaper than
Care of the
therapy, right?
community.
So
They're in the community.
there's a mental health crisis going on this podcast, let alone in the country. Yeah.
Yes. I think other than since Warfare, which has been a month ago now.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
It's
weird.
Like that. It's been, like I said, it's been a very busy month. The only hobby I've done is pre-Warfare. Tried to do a bit today, and then realised that I hadn't. I mustn't have done anything. So I tried to build something today, and I realised that my glue and hobby knife and clippers were still in the box with the army. So,
hold on, you've been day drinking today. Were you going to do day drinking and hobby?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a dangerous combo, isn't it?
That's our most effective one, halfway to the wind. And...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but how do you put yourself back from the precipice?
3 dry brushes on the go. Sorry, Dunk.
How do you put yourself back from the precipice, though?
Oh, you don't. You just get worse and worse and worse.
Oh, you just embrace it. I see.
Yeah,
that's my secret cap. I'm always in the precipice.
Is there a queue for having a precipice? Like if there's a lot of people in the room.
In the room.
Yeah.
But not a lot of hobby, but a bit of gaming.
Yeah, you've done quite a lot of gaming.
Yeah,
you've done well.
I've been. Well, I did miss 3 weeks of the Games Club, unfortunately.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to? Because aren't you like Obersternführer?
The president of life, yeah.
I am the chairperson, yes, thank you. I did go for Games Club. No, I did. I got a good committee to support me who maintained the opening, namely Justin the Troll.
I was going to say, is it just Justin?
It's just Justin. He lives in Guildford. I bring him back a carton of Marlboros every time I go to Europe, and it keeps him happy. So,
If you carry on like that, you won't have a good support committee, will you?
No, honestly. I do. I just get more smokes. It's fine.
I think you missed the health message you're trying to impart there, Duncan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Eddie just glazed over it. It was just like, yeah.
He's a troll. He regenerates. What are you on about?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
But aren't they also, I know, heavily vulnerable to fire damage? I mean,
Yes.
I guess,
admittedly, everything's vulnerable to fire damage. It's one of those things. What's my weakness? Fire. Everybody's weakness is fire.
Apart from the love.
No,
of people.
Aquaman can't be. His weakness can't be fire, surely.
He boils away.
How do you like your Aquaman?
His
Like
weakness
putting a
isn't
crab in
water,
a-
is it?
It's a dry heat.
Stupid DC. DC sucks. Why are they still a
whoa,
thing?
Whoa. He's back in the box, Duncan. Back in the
No.
box.
Why are they a thing? Like, they've got Batman. Everyone else sucks.
But games. The secret to make people think that I edit this podcast is I just start talking about a different tangent. It sounds like I've cut the conversation, and I haven't. It's just the other two carry on talking.
It's when Duncan goes one of those massive rants about eugenics. So you have to cut out half the episode. Yeah.
I mean, if we could just breed out the gingers, I mean, that would be useful.
So what have we done last week, guys?
Try to breed out the gingers, but apparently we're getting segued away from that conversation.
Oh God.
I played Aliens, Another Day, Glorious Day in the Core. Up
Yep.
to mission 3 now, which is very fun.
Is that the same game over and over again, or is there like different missions and stuff that you do?
There's different missions.
Right. Okay. That's why I couldn't work out if it was
And then
like
there's more missions in the expansion, but it's quite fun because I've been playing at a dice saloon with Lee and some of the guys from the barn.
Mhm.
I've also been playing it with a couple of guys from Guildford, Troll and Paul, on like the Thursday night clubs. Go up there and have a pizza and games night, and it's been quite fun seeing. We kind of kept, not for any force of effort, we kept pace with each other in terms of the amount of games we got in. So you play one mission 1 week with one lot, and then play the same mission the next week with the other lot, and you get to see just how the character choices and also the luck of the blip draw and the event cards change the feel of the mission.
Okay.
Because there's one where it's like, oh, this is really good. Oh, we're going fine. And then it just went horribly, horribly wrong when the entire board got filled with blips in about
That was mission 2 for us at the dice.
That was mission 2 for us at Dice Loon. It's like, what happens when we run out of blip tokens? Oh, they all move 3 spaces. Oh, God.
Nothing good.
Run,
apparently.
run. Keep running. Run faster, please. And then at the same time, it felt like a cakewalk with the other guys the other time we played it. That was the fact that Justin was playing Ramirez, and he, I think, with full auto and a smart gun, he did manage to kill. Started off at aim 10.
Aim 10? Gee.
And he only missed when he got to aim value 1. So he killed 9 aliens in a single round of
That's
full auto
crazy.
fire, which is incredible. Because every time you shoot, it gets harder to hit. And he was just running lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And when he got to aim value 1, he finally missed, and like the smart gun came to a hissing, smoking stop. The corridor was just covered in bits of alien, which was fun.
Gently sizzling.
Also played Frostgrave at the Guildford Games Club. That's a good fun. It's a silly game. You cannot play Frostgrave seriously because it is kind of what I would wanted to do with my miniatures game. It allows you to mess with things that are unique to miniature games, such as creating bits of terrain. Like in the mission that we were playing, the undead orcs were trying to run into a church, so I magically spawned a wall in front of the church door. And they
This is like a fantasy. Sorry, I don't know what Frostgrave is. This is like a fantasy.
Oh, sure. Frostgrave is Osprey Games, Joseph McCullen book. So it's miniatures. They've got its own range of miniatures, but you can use whatever. A lot of the guys are using Lord of the Rings. I've got Warhammer Fantasy Dwarves. And it's Mordenheim-esque in that you are a band of people going into a place to try and recover things, and something terrible's happened. Frostgrave itself is a ruined town that's been swarmed magic. There's a whole load of extra plot, but you can dip in and out as much as you can. But it revolves your main guy, your main character is the wizard, that is you, and then everyone else is just like supporters, like hangers on. So your wizard levels up, but other people don't really. But you have a whole heap of weird spells, of different lore things. So you can, I was playing a dwarf, so I could spawn a magical bridge, like 6 inches long, within his line of sight. Boff, there goes a bridge.
That's not a bridge, mate.
Yeah,
That's
make
a bridge.
walls, magical landmines, like you carve runes onto the floor, and if it moves in 2 inches, then they explode. It's quite fun because you play against against another guy's warband. You've got about 8 figures each, but there's a big amount of wandering monsters. So you have a deck, and the environment spawns stuff. So you're not just fighting against each other,
Right?
You're fighting against the Frostgrave itself. And it's a fun game. It's got a lot of, you need to just kind of smile and grin because there's a lot of loose, poorly defined bits because there's just the scope of it so big. So if you try to play it like a game of chess, you're going to fall apart, especially when I walk behind another guy's barbarian and push him 24 inches across the board with the push, who then charges against the enemy wizard and kills him. It's hilarious.
I'm going to throw a barbarian at you.
Yeah, you're going to what? Oh, no, I'm dead. Oh, great. No, it's good fun. It's all D20. It's a single D20 as well. It's quite interesting. Everything's done by one D20 roll.
Huh.
And then you compare armor values. So it's kind of like a bit like D&D in that respect. And you compare armor values and the difference between your D20 roll plus your strength against their D20 roll, and their armor is the damage.
Oh, that's just reminding me. Actually, I helped run some D&D for the Scouts.
What?
Yeah.
How
Apparently,
very noble of you.
I know. Apparently, you can get an entertainer badge and Wizards of the Coast will actually send you like a load of like 200 quid's worth of books and stuff to do it.
What?
Yeah. If you're a scout or cadets or anything like that, yeah.
Oh, mate, I should do that.
Yeah, they've got on the
We can play D&D in gliders, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But they got on the Games
Cast
Workshop
Fireball.
one.
No, don't.
Cast Fireball.
Sorry, it just reminded me. But yeah, that was quite cool.
Oh, well done, man. That's awesome.
God bless them.
Oh,
Hey, kids, you want to be child soldiers?
Well, no, it was more like, do you want to be a murder hobo? So,
it's you never know someone until you play D&D with them. And
Yeah.
at that point, you often don't want to know them afterwards.
I think the most troubling one was that the kid who said that his character was addicted to cider. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's not telling at all.
Child services for you, my friend. Yeah, right.
There's a long time thing. One of their people in our group. She's very quiet normally, but whenever we role play, she always seems to somehow end up committing a war crime of some sort.
Oh, of course. That's
Fantastic.
Yeah. If in doubt.
If in doubt.
I mean, we were playing Rogue Trader once, and she was a rogue trader, and her idea of a warning shot was glassing the city. So,
Well, they were warned.
It's not a war crime the first time, is it?
No, that was a warning shot. If you don't behave yourself, I'm going to nuke you again.
I got plenty more ammo. You got more ammo. You got cities, yes.
Yeah.
So
Frostgrave. That's quite interesting. So that's about a dozen figures.
No, there is a warband limit. I think there's 10 figures you end up with.
Okay, so it's not even that many. Okay.
No, it's literally there's 10 figures. It might be 8 figures. As a hard stop number. Have your wizard. You can have a wizard's apprentice whose stats are like half the wizards that cast extra spells. You can buy specialists, and then once you run out of gold, because you can normally only buy 2 or 3 specialists, then the other guys are just either a thug or a.
Are they just doofuses?
They're just doofuses.
Right,
So you end up with doofuses running around doing things and getting attacked by owlbears and stuff like that, which is quite fun. No, it's a really good game. Unfortunately, I made 2 nights of the campaign. That was supposed to be like 6 weeks long. Due to missing the nights and bits and pieces of that. And the finale is Monday night. The Christmas special game. So we've done the last mission, which is where I threw barbarian across the board. But there's a Christmas special add-on where apparently Angus at the club has built gingerbread terrain. So
genius.
It's going to be what do you call it? Eddie-structable. It's edible. Eddie-structable terrain that you can eat buildings as you capture.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah. So good fun.
Nice.
And Blood Bowl and Blitz Bowl, which is the board game version.
See, I got asked if I wanted to play Blood Bowl 7s, and I was like, what the hell's that? But that sounds like Blitz Bowl as well.
Blood
that's
Bowl
70, isn't it?
Sevens is the same game with half the models, as far as I'm aware.
And is it half the
Bowl-
fun?
Blitz Bowl, well, I don't know. I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with Blood Bowl at the moment because I kind of find, and mainly it's because I haven't painted all my teams to get enough variety to find a team that works the way I want to play. Like, I love my goblins, but they're a bit terrible. And then they become very rules heavy, and then all the interactions kind of
Try to work out how your bombs worked was
well, exactly. That's the problem. I didn't really want to use the goblins, but they're the nicest painted ones, which was fine until Nathan went, "Oh, they painted," and I was like, "Yes, they are. They're just dark." I cried and went home. Being a speed painter amongst a room of people with beautifully painted models, I do kind of go, "Oh, I won't pull out my brown elves," which is why they do.
The Browns.
The Browns, yeah, exactly. No, it's fine, and that's kind of where I want to be at. I want to, just get some base colors down and stuff, so I can actually start using
the Avalon Browns.
Yeah, but I do find that Blood Bowl suffers that. I like it. I think I like it, and then it gets a bit swingy, and then it becomes very clear that it's gone wrong for you this game, or it's gone wrong for your opponent this game, and now you've still got an hour left of game.
That's kind of what we had in our first game, wasn't it?
That's kind of right.
Most of your players were either dead or knocked out, and you were only a point down. But because I take gutted, most of your force all you had left was a special.
Yeah, and then the reason I didn't put the special forces on to begin with is because I wanted to remind myself how the core game worked before I then started adding all those extra rules in. Otherwise, it would have been just a grind from the beginning.
And how did the core game work?
Dwarves hit people.
Yeah. Dwarves would block, haven't they? And they just go, oh.
And I think ignore my dodge. Tackle,
tackle.
Which is fine, and that's okay, and that's just the game. But I think for me, I much prefer that for where Blood Bowl sits in my gaming landscape, shall I say, as like the amount of time I want to devote to it and how often I want to play it. Blitz Bowl, which is the Barnes and Noble exclusive, US only, hard to get copy board game version, that scratches the itch perfectly for me. I play a game of Blitz Bowl and I feel like I've played Blood Bowl. I've had some fun. I've done enough bits. It's interactive enough that stuff keeps happening. It doesn't grind to a halt. And then I'm done. And that's where I want Blood Bowl to be.
And it's not.
Because often I'm playing Blood Bowl at the Games Club, and after I've done the committee stuff and chatting and catching up with people, I don't have enough time to do a full game. So we end up playing half a game normally anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's not great.
Case, you might as well just play a full game of Blitz Bowl.
See, you're not old enough yet. That's the problem. There's a certain inflection point as a wargamer where you're quite happy to spend an hour setting something up, play for 3 hours, get to 10 o'clock, play 3 turns, and go, let's call it a draw, shall we, and put everything away again.
You realise that all of life is futile and an effortless waste of time.
I think Lee and I are going to hit that point before you, so just to be warned.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll bear that in mind. That's why I play small armies, so I can just smash you in 2 turns.
Oh no, but that's not the point. We'll then take a good hour and a half over our turn, just pondering.
Fun.
I think that's just the early onset on Alzheimer's kicking in. So we actually know what you're doing, but
you feel like you played. Your memories all merge into one and then coalesce into a newly formed memory of the game you've just played, and that's actually what you think you've just done.
Well, I did have to warn someone at work the other day that if I start telling the same story to them again, they've got to warn me.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I'm well on that. I'm well on that trajectory. Yep. How unpleasant.
Obviously, of course, we did both play Warfare, which we will talk about separately, I think, after this.
Did we? I don't feel like I played Warfare. I mean, I was present.
I feel like Warfare consumed 48 hours of my life.
I think now, because all I did was play a Blood Bowl we just discussed. So.
Oh, is that what you? Oh man.
Yeah, but basically that's all I've really done since I got back from Dubai.
That's true. That's true. It's been a tough month.
Well, that's why I want to get some games in next week to do some Team Yankee and stuff. So,
does that mean I should build my French Canadians?
No.
Well, if you can get done by Wednesday next week, basically.
So no, Eddie.
Oh, have we booked a table? Sorry,
I haven't yet. No, we'll talk about that once we finish recording. But yeah,
we're never going to finish recording. This is the episode 100 that lasts forever.
Yep. It's like the story, the never-ending story.
We're going to have to kill a horse in the swamp.
Well, no, it just ends disappointingly.
Giant flying dragon.
Yeah.
Is that a never-ending story?
Yeah, it is. It's
Big
crap.
furry one.
Stupid dog dragon.
So, Warfare. Unfortunately, the week of Warfare, the organizer, whose name I'm now forgetting, unfortunately,
Tom?
sorry, Tom from Tabletop
Tom.
Republic.
It wasn't Tom.
Tom. Yeah, turn left. He was sick. I was hoping he could get better, and then he didn't. He got worse, unfortunately. I believe he's on the mend now. I spoke to him the week afterwards. Actually, no, sorry, tell a lie. He got slightly better over the weekend at the same time that his wife got sick. Then there was absolutely no way he could have attended the tournament.
That'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. So the message went out that basically it wasn't going to happen unless someone else could take up the running of the reins. And because I knew that we had several people travelling quite far to come and play, and also I wanted it to happen, I volunteered to run Warfare, which I did.
Well, didn't you volunteer Justin to run Warfare?
No, I volunteered to run Warfare, and then Justin wasn't going to go. This is the funny thing. Justin wasn't going to go to Warfare at all. Until I said, "Oh, well, I'm going anyway. I'm going through Guildford. I can pick you up, so I'll take you for the day."
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, Justin naturally ended up doing the entire Saturday and going to the Curry and going back there on Sunday to help run the whole thing and doing all the scoring and being a genuine lifesaver. So the community came together, and Tom and Harry was able to get the prize support and scenery. And the community also provided way too many scenery boards, as it turned out, because we didn't actually use the Tabletop Republic stuff in the end. I was like, oh, okay. By the time I got there and set everything up, we had everything we needed, which is awesome.
It's not we don't trust a new showrunner when it comes on, but it's always happy to contingency in the back of the boot.
Well, I think it's a case of we knew in the communications it was the Bunshot boys, so half of Team England plus fellow accoutrement people who were quite a few of the attendees. Discussed it amongst ourselves, and obviously Ian, one of those is Ian, who ran it previously.
Yeah.
So rather than have Ian step up to do it, it's he's done it for many years, so he had a chance to play nicely. I thought, well, we'll just sort it out, and we did, and everyone came forward with terrain. Everyone was amazing in terms of the attitudes to running it. And I think we had a good mix of terrain in the end in boards. Some slightly more open than others, but that's also fine because that supports some lists. And then some were really hectic and busy and sucked, namely the city board for my poor King Tigers. So glad I took King Tigers in the end, because it meant I had a nice small army that I could play quick games with and then help Justin and other people with the rest of the tournament, and also have a chance to look around and get some bits that I'd signed people up for to actually enjoy Warfare as it was. So I took 6 SS King Tigers in a formation. So Platoon of 2, Platoon of 3 and HQ. 3 SS Scout Recce Cars, 250s, and a Stern Tiger. And that was my
secret sauce.
171 points. And it was amazing. And it was a lot of fun. And I won't go through game by game, probably, namely, because I can't remember, unfortunately.
It was quite a while ago.
It's been a month, and it's been a very full month. But I mainly because I'm struggling to remember game 1. It was a busy weekend for me. But
well, in general, how did you do?
How did I do? I won some.
Sounds like
I lost 2.
Jesus.
I think I came in 4th in the end.
It's like Channel 5 news.
I know.
Things have happened around the world.
I'm sorry. I should have. I literally had forgotten that this would be the Warfare report, even though you guys had reminded me, and just haven't been thinking about that part of what we've done.
It was a while ago. I mean, to be fair, I only remember because I made a note of it on my phone.
Yeah, and I was running the thing.
And you were running things, yeah, exactly.
So I remembered lots about running it and organising it and people and lists and stuff, and obviously I saw everyone's army and bits and pieces there. But I think I ended up fourth. Because I actually only lost 2 games. I'm trying to remember whose army. I had a game against Brit Sherman's.
That's probably Harry then.
No, actually.
No?
Oh, God. Can't remember his name now, unfortunately. He's the one who captured my Cromwell at Warfare that year, in that he actually took the model home and then posted it back to me afterwards by mistake.
Fantastic.
But I remember because he had all his Shermans with Fireflies and the tulip rockets, and it was a case of they won't actually do anything.
Not in that particular game. No,
but the Fireflies did enough, and he vaporized a lot of. He had Typhoons as well. That's it. So I pushed forward.
Right.
I want to say Andy, but it's not Andy. Push forward to get within, spitting distance of the objective, and then didn't do anything about the infantry that was sat there because they were keeping me safe from the Typhoons. And then he whittled down quite a few platoons, but eventually I managed to push him off and capture the objective, but not before he lost. He was murdering things left, right, and centre, and I was a single tank away from company break.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was damn close. And in retrospect, I think the only mistake he made was he chose to bring on his Shermans from the same flank. He reinforced one side rather than splitting the two, which would have forced me to turn around one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And do my cheeky 180 turret thing.
Oh God!
Yeah, and then I lost against Paolo, who, spoiler alert, was the Italian captain who went on to win the thing with these Brits. I forgot Brits and Comets in a city board. It was not fun. There was just a whole heap of mess, and obviously I can't go in buildings because they have no infantry. But the Sturm Tiger did prove its worth in that he was running his infantry forward, and it was obvious he was going to leapfrog into one building. So the turn before they got there, the Sturm Tiger just ranged into that building. And then went,
I dare you.
I dare you. I dare you. My 2 up firepower to run into that building. So he mounted his kangaroos instead, and then drove them around the board. And then got a lucky long-range shot with a Comet, which bailed out my King Tiger HQ. And then he was able to assault out of his bloody Comets with crocodiles.
Kangaroos.
Yeah, assault out of them and capture that SS Tiger. And then from there, it was just like, okay, now I don't have enough models. And it was just slowly grinding down. And he just bailed some and pushed me off, which is fine. I did the best I could, but Paolo's a good player, and he's got a really competitive list against something that's designed mainly so I could run a Sturm Tiger.
Yeah. And like I say, tough table as well for you as well.
Oh, yeah, it was the worst table, worst opponent mix. And I was like, okay, this is probably going to go one way, but I did the best I can. Played Harry, which was an absolute blast. Who,
is that Harry from the Tabletop Republic or Harry from?
Yes. No. Yes, it was Harry from Tabletop Republic.
Mm-hmm.
The lesser bearded Harry, who kept apologising, which is hilarious. So stop apologising. So he apologised.
It's the most British thing you can do, though.
It's very British. It's fine.
I apologise for apologising.
That was a fantastic game because it was real cut thrust and ambushing tigers and things like that. And really, and this is kind of afterwards. We went back and said, well, you've got enough tools. Your recce just sat there, and they could have been putting pressure on objectives. And the tiger list only works if you don't pressure it. If you play aggressively like Duncan did with his Hellcats, not stupid aggressively, but if you play aggressively, then you just run out of answers for things. That's the last game I had against. Not Panzerlehr. Or was it his brother? One of the Trenchards. He had the Porsche Tigers and normal Tigers.
Train company kind of thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. On a very open board. And I just got to sit there going, armour's my armour. and you don't have as much armor, so I will just shoot you from a range and shoot you from range, and it's just like you've got more than double the amount of tanks I have, but being very passive and holding off meant that I could just choose engagements and pick off things at range.
Mhm.
Highlight of that game, I never forget, was destroying and bailing a tiger with the Stern Tiger.
Oh my god, really?
It's like, take that.
What's the tank of that thing?
4?
4, I think.
Oh right, okay. So just a good.
Yeah. It's tasty. 2 out of 5 hour. Boom.
I think it's 4. Yeah. It might be 3, but it's enough
not
that you
3.
can do something.
Yeah.
It's not 3. It's more than 3. I know that much.
If you've got a kill, it must be at least 4. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got to be because it's top armor too, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
So no, fantastic weekend. I do apologise to all the people. I can't remember who I've played, but part of that is I was walking around making sure everyone else's game was okay, so I can't distinguish in my brain what was other people's games and what was my own.
All merged into one.
Yeah.
So are you going to be doing this going forward then?
Well, I have put my name forward. I'm waiting on details to be 100% confirmed, but it's 99.9%. I will be running Warfare 2024.
Ooh.
Which hopefully will be D-Day 80th anniversary themed.
Ah.
So it will be red versus blue with a list swap option. So you have a primary list, either Axis or Allies, and then the alternative, if you come up against, you've got someone else who also has a primary list of the same. And it'll be a dice roll off if you've got the same primary as to who runs what, and you'll get an extra victory point as a reward for doing that. So if you bring 2 armies, you can get 1 extra point on the board before you do anything, which I think is really cool as a reward for bringing those models. If you don't have 2 armies and you only have 1 model, you can still get the victory point. You just have to agree to play my donor list if you're forced to.
Is this like the backup vehicle on Top Gear?
It is the backup vehicle. You can get that victory point if you really want to, but you've got to play my donor list. Which
I want my Brumbar company.
Well, you can bring that as your primary.
Brumbars and
I can't.
But why not?
Because there's no late war Brumbar company.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Well, you can take a mid-war list if you really want.
Can I?
No.
Oh.
And the other thing is, if both your lists come from the D-Day book, or D-Day books, I should say, or are D-Day appropriate, such by using another book, which is a discussion with me, such as a Task Force Alpha company using...
Or Jagdpanther Company.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And then you will gain an additional point following the theme of the tournament. So before even game 1 rolled, you could be scoring 2 Flames of War victory points.
It's pretty 82 points going to score, get all we can, but at least I have 2 points.
It can keep you off the bottom. And
can we stop Martin doing that? Even if he brings it, can you just say you can't have them?
No.
Yeah, you can. You're a tournament organizer. It was a rhetorical question. It wasn't a request.
I'm not going to miss it publicly on a public forum, am I?
Oh, I see. Yes, good plan.
I
agree with this sentiment.
The crazy thing about Warfare was we had so much prize support. We were able to have everyone go home with 2 prizes.
At least 2, because I forfeited my second because I felt bad.
It was mad. We got a huge number of blisters, a huge number of bits and pieces. It's a fantastic tournament. I really think that Warfare can be turned into something spectacular, which is what I'm hoping for everyone to get behind. Obviously, we had QT, Quinton Taylor, come over, which was lovely. To
Patron number 1.
Patron number 1. Just numerically, not statistically. Which was awesome. It's great fun to hang out and share the uniqueness.
I have to apologise once again for not being there, because
you did paint an entire army for the dude.
You did.
So I thought I had to, really, at that point.
That is pretty much. The stands were good. I managed to avoid buying too much of the bring and buy.
Did you buy anything at the bring and buy?
I didn't buy a single thing from the bring and buy.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
No, yeah, exactly. But I did
tournaments more often.
Yeah, exactly. I did pick up the last bits from my French-Canadian Team Yankee force from what was around, because that just released. So I got the NATO forces book, and I think I have I think I had the M113 mortars somewhere, but I don't know if I built them for my Germans yet or not. So I just bought the NATO Canadian mortars.
But let's face it, you can never have too many M113.
Well, that's
boxes.
what I figured. I mean, I've got them now, so I know I've got them.
Outsource the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But the French fries, the Team Yankee universe, they come with everything.
Yeah. So I think I did win 4 games. Ian Brook beat me because that's it. On the third game of day 1, he vaporized. He had a ton of Shermans, and I lost 3 King Tigers to side armor 10 shots. Yeah, in a row, pretty much almost in a row. And also, it was like only 1 hit as well. It wasn't like he went, oh, there's 6 hits. It was like, there's 1 hit. Oh, you rolled a 1. Oh, that's firepower. It's dead. And then he did it again. And then he did it again and broke the company. I was like, oh, Ian.
One of those games, yeah.
One of those games. Yeah. So that was but it was fun. It was good.
It's a game of skill, Eddie. It's a game of skill.
It is a game of skill.
But I still managed to get enough wins to get 4th on the board, which was lovely.
Yep. Not bad when you're running it.
No, exactly. And all the games took less than an hour, which is fantastic when you're running it because it means I can go and do other bits. But I won't be playing this year, or next year rather. Going to focus just on running it and supporting it and make sure everyone's happy. So a couple of bits of stuff that wasn't quite done, and I'm going to work hard on getting some interesting terrain bits, so to have some interesting games. So themed D-Day terrain.
I think it was some sort of D-Day event going on the same year. We could borrow terrain for.
There you go. That's the point. That's kind of the point. Not with fortifications or anything too wacky. Just because that kind of shifts it away from
with
a tournament. It makes it less of a tournament and more into an event game.
Yeah.
And this is Warfare, I think, should be one of the premier tournaments. Like, you want to be proud you won it, not that you got a fluky list collection of whatever. But I do think the theming element can really come back and
yeah, you could have like Bocage table, albeit not counting the Bocage as Bocage. And,
yeah, exactly.
Little French villages.
That's
Hill 120, Hill 112, that kind of thing.
I've got loads of ideas.
Pegasus Bridge,
but with the pontoon bridges as well to make it more accessible. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with it. And hopefully Frontline Terrain. I've got an email to put to them and some pennies to send their way to help out with that. So I'm super excited for next November. But Dunk, how did your weekend go?
I started off playing Mr. Quintin, Patron number 1, with Lee's lovely Hands Grenade Army. And that game was on a knife edge for most of it. He thought I'd got the advantage for most of it. And it came down in the end to me being able to pass a 6-up counterattack with a tank destroyer to avoid being pushed off an objective and him winning. So it really did come down to like right at the end. He did one of the hardest things you can do is to withdraw infantry in front of mechanized troops in good order, and he managed to do it. He managed to pull back across a town that I didn't want to go through, so I had to go round. And he managed to pull back to the objectives behind him. But let me just check. Didn't use lucky. So I played all weekend with 100 and whatever it was, 10 points instead of 100
110 points is 111.
Yeah, refused to use lucky.
So you took it but wouldn't use it. I
refused to look at it.
It's more thing of taking it and then forgetting it exists, but yes.
Well, exactly. That's understandable. But yeah, the in that game we played 6 turns, and the Thunderbolts came in 4 out of 6 turns.
What?
So, yep. So they were very. There is a correlation here as well. I don't know if it's correlation and causation, or whether it's just correlation and not causation. But they took out the Vesps in that particular game. So they took out all 3 Vesps.
That will make life harder, yeah.
Yeah, killed 1 and then bailed 2. And they then didn't rally and ran off the table. They also killed a Panzer Grenadier stand and then bailed out a Panzer 470. So they were pretty handy. But it was ending up it was a 3-2 draw, if that makes sense. A 3-2 loss for both of us, because not through want of trying. Like I said, all 3 options were potentially available on the last German turn. So a win for either side and a draw. So it wasn't
It was
like any
very intense when I came over at the end of the games.
So it was good. Second game, so I immediately dropped my usual position of further down the table, which is nice. Back in my home
on
the lower tables. But I played Steve Burden and his British Cromwells. Steve was interesting because he'd painted his army. He had 3 armies, I think he said he'd painted over lockdown, but he'd never played a game.
Oh, wow.
So his first 5 games of Flames of War were all at the tournament.
Wow, nice.
So he'd done really, really well. I mean, some of his stuff was yet to be quite finished off, I think, but that's a good effort for someone who's never played a game before to actually get through that much stuff. But in that game, I managed to murder. Where is it? So I just tank destroyers against Cromwell's is not ideal. I don't think under any circumstance. No. He had 2 archers and 2 Achilles, so only 2 of each. And he put the archers in reserve, so when they came on, they couldn't fire. So these are all things, that are a learning curve, I think.
Yeah.
Stuff.
But I've had a few times I've had new players and their first experience at a tournament, and I've always said the best way of learning the game is to go to a tournament.
Yeah.
Because you're guaranteed by the end of it, as long as people know you're a newbie, they usually tell you what you did wrong, that kind of thing. You'll learn so much over that weekend about your army, and B, how to play the game. But,
exactly, and I think he did okay. I mean, he certainly, it was a defensive mission, so he took a defensive stance with his Cromwells, so there was less manoeuvring he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing that surprised him was the infantry assaulting, being able to run up, bazooka a few tanks. I didn't go over my list either. Whoops. Bazooka a few tanks and then assault them. And you can use their own tanks to block the return defensive fire.
Fez's favourite trick.
Yeah, so my list was, it's supposed to be representative of sort of Task Force A in Brittany, and it was a tank destroyer M18 company with fresh tank destroyer card. So that makes them all trained instead of veteran. So, fine. And then it was the engineer company from the cards from D-Day. So that was the full engineer company. And then it had a third company, which was a short company of stewards with 2 command stewards, 2 platoons of 3 stewards, and then the mortars and the M8 Scots for
Great
artillery support.
Great Scott.
The only thing that was not in formation was the Thunderbolts. So, yeah, it wasn't going to go anywhere, but that's, pretty much I think a standard across those number of points.
It's quite a tough list, yeah.
Yeah. So the Thunderbolts turned up only 3 turns this turn, but they were turns 1, 2, and 3. So they turned up on the first 3 turns, and they basically destroyed the Saxon platoon. So they just wiped it out. They bailed 2 in the first turn, then they killed 3 in the second turn and bailed another one, and then they just ran off.
So I'm noticing a theme here. You were very much going for counter artillery in their roles. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of, if there's nothing juicy, as in like King Tigers, you may as well go and pick on something that can cause you some real problems. Because my infantry is only, it's rallying on a 3, but it's hit on 3, so he's going to be pinned down quite a lot.
Yeah.
So stopping that is useful.
What were you using for the kills? Were you going with 50 cows on the sidearm or rocket? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 50 cows on the side armor against anything that's, side armor 2 or below, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that seemed to work quite well. Even against the British on hit on 4s, you're going to hit 4 times with your 8 shots, and then there's quite a good chance you just fluking some stuff coming through. I mean, like I said, I did kill 3 in 1 turn, which was extraordinary. That shouldn't happen ever. But
that's definitely going for the far end of the bell curve.
Yeah. But yeah, I managed to win that one quite heavily. I think I won that 8-1. So he killed quite a lot of stuff, but it wasn't out of any. I don't think he broke a platoon because it was all bits and pieces here, there, and everywhere. So that then it was nosebleed time as I rocketed back up the table. I was very unfamiliar with this experience. So the next game I played Harrison. So that was Harry with his British. It's an interesting list he's got. It was fine, and I think
That's the mass Shermans, wasn't it?
No, this is comets. He had comets.
Oh, they come with this. Right, yes, yeah.
And we were playing on the table with the excessive terrain. The excessive buildings that Eddie played Paolo on.
The city table,
The
yeah.
city one. And I was quite happy with that. I thought, well, this is great. I don't want people shooting my tank destroyers ever. So, line of sight blocking terrain is fine by me.
Yeah.
And he got a bit ballsy on the first turn of the game. He basically charged the wood on my right hand side, which he knew my ambush was going to be in. On the premise that it was going to pop the ambush because he had no real sensible way of revealing it. So it's just like, oh well, I'll balls the wall and we'll go down and see what we can do. The mistake he made was in throwing his command forward as well. So he had 5 comets altogether. I think it was 5 comets. Might have been 6.
It's could be either for 5 or 6. It'll be 2 in the HQ and 3 in the. Because this is basically pretty much what I was going to take to Warfare.
You took it to maintain the comet representation. Warfare.
I mean, it was scary. But again, like, I don't really care if I'm hit by a 77mm gun or a standard Sherman. I haven't got enough armor for it to matter. But yeah, he charged straight down, and I made his command join the comet unit, and then just battered the snot out of it. And I think I killed 4 comets in the first turn. Fired 8 times. It was short range. Hit 5 times.
That's brutal, yeah.
And it just wiped it out. I think I wiped out the HQ, and then the other Cromwell sort of moseyed off. But he was like, I didn't need to put my command down there, did I? I went, no, you didn't. Because all I can do then is make it join that unit, and I can target them all. So it's not even like it makes it any harder for them to be hit. But again, like the planes turned up 4 turns again. So they actually
killed your bloody aircraft.
Yeah, they killed. So they killed a comet on the first turn with rockets. They then bailed 2 in the next turn with rockets, and then nothing till turn 5, where they did turn up again on turn 5 but didn't do anything. And then turn 6, they killed a Crusader AA tank, and the other one ran off. It cost them a Thunderbolt to do it, but they killed a Crusader, and then the other one ran off. So I was like, nah, I'm fine with that exchange. And again, I think I won that 7-2. It was a pretty hard scenario for him, but I don't think he was quite as aggressive as he could have been. I can't remember I don't think he could win till turn 6 was the problem. It was one of the ones where my reserves were turning up. I can't remember which one it was, but there were two reserves. Two objective. One of which was in no man's land to my left, and one was in my deployment zone on the right hand side. And there was a couple of things I think he wouldn't do again. Like, he tried to assault across the road with his paratroopers, and he kicked out my engineers that were in that building, but the cost was too heavy because I had 2 HMGs in each in each engineer platoon, and they did make it in, but it cost them most of the platoon. Like, functionally, the platoon was wrecked after that.
Yeah.
So it's difficult at that point, but I think he suffered a little bit from artillery because his sextons were operational, but they just don't. I can't remember them doing a lot, if that makes sense either. Like, they weren't terrifying. They dropped some shells, killed some troops, and pinned it a bit, but not anything that really mattered.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, a sexton is a 25-pounder. It's really going to be there for suppression and smoke.
Yeah,
it might kill things. 5.4, it can still kill, but it's really there for the first 2 things.
Yeah. So that again, that was, I think that, like I said, is 7-2. Again, rocketing up the table. I think after that, at the end of day 1, I think I was in the top 3, which I don't know what was going on there. That clearly felt wrong and bizarre. And then I fixed that on day 2. Don't worry.
Put an end to that nonsense.
Exactly. I had a nice curry in between, though. That was delicious. Was that
the same place you guys went last? We went last year, or was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was good.
Apparently, there's a better one that Martin was saying in Farnborough itself, but you have to book well in advance to actually get in there.
Okay.
It's like a Nepalese restaurant or something.
But they're all Nepalese around there because the Gurkhas are in
okay.
But yeah, there's Well, I'm there for the air show. There's a couple we use, and they're generally all pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was decent. I mean, like you were saying that, it's better, but it's not like, don't go
Top
to this one,
notch.
it's rubbish.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, second day, I was greeted on Sunday by the smiley face and lack of shoe of Mr. Graham Wilmot. And that was just unpleasant. I mean, his army was just, it was a war crime, wasn't it, Eddie?
Yeah.
So what was he using?
6 platoons?
He had three companies.
We had 3 companies.
Yeah, but he could do a 4-foot table width and have no gaps.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's coverage.
Yep, and he had two batteries of 88s, one of which had the bombardment, one of which was one of which was no, they both had bombardment. One was Swoboda, one was the long ones. He had bloody half tracks coming out of the wazoo, and it was the what's the scenario where you have a if you're defending, you're off to one side in a box, and the objective is sort of
Neutral
to the back
objective.
end.
Yeah, it's outflanked.
Something like that, and it was, I couldn't physically get over there fast enough with my infantry to stop him winning on turn 6, because he just ran his I think he had Keitel.
Yeah.
So he just ran down the table length and went, aha. To be fair, he did say actually this isn't the scenario. There's 2 scenarios, one which you auto lose, the other one you don't. So I suggest we play the one where you don't auto lose. And I was like, oh, okay, that's very kind of you. And then we picked the scenario and did everything like that. We got through the first turn. He went, oh no, we're playing the wrong one. And I was like, oh, I can't. We've had a turn and a bit now, and I was like, we can't really walk it back. We haven't got time. Then it'd be unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't have a chance. And I was like, oh, I'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. The upshot of that is that there were no Thunderbolts that turned up at all. And I don't think, I might have taken a platoon or 2. It might have been 2, but not enough. Not enough. So yeah, that was a bit of a pasting. And then the final one was Mr. Martin Turner, game 5, and with his Hungarians, and that was rough. That was a bit rough as well. It wasn't ideal for me trying to assault stuff with half tracks, because obviously, sorry, not half track, it was tank destroyers. So with his infantry list, he went defend, and just hunkered down. It was quite close still, but I mean, he did a really sneaky thing as well with this, where he put he had the machine gun nest card from Bagration. So he can turn a heavy machine gun into nests, or all the right. But he put them inside a building. Or he put one of them inside a building.
Oh.
Because you have to re-roll firepower to destroy it.
What?
Because it's a nest.
Okay.
And it's an independent team, so you can smuggle them around all over the place.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a bit cheeky. Cheeky Martin. But yeah, I struggled a bit with that. I don't think I did very well. I think I killed some Kasabas with, 76mm shots, or Chabas, which is pointless.
Yeah.
And the Thunderbolts didn't really turn up and do anything. One got shot down by a Bofors gun in the first turn. So, I mean, they killed a Pat 40, I think, in the first turn, but lost one to a Bofors and then didn't do anything else the rest of the game. So what I'm essentially saying is that all the games I did well in, the Thunderbolts did well in. When the Thunderbolts didn't do well, I didn't do well. So there's definitely something there.
Want more Thunderbolts?
Yes, ideally. I mean, Thunderbolt was such a good aircraft, though. Like, it really is.
I mean, we have said this before. I mean, it's just a perfect combination of tools, as it were. With all that, the rockets, the bombs, the guns, and the 50 cal. Like you say, it chews through those soft skin vehicles.
Yep.
So
it's good
not soft skin, but weakly armored vehicles.
Yeah, and the amount of recce and stuff that was knocking around. I mean, I had Graham's army. If I could have got the Thunderbolts in like in turn 1, I mean, it was so densely packed together.
Mm-hmm.
They would have, I might have lost some stuff from 88s firing AA, but my God, they would have been a target-rich environment. But Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was good. It was all good. Enjoyable games. Quintin's one came down right to the wire. I mean, it was nice playing. I don't often play Graham unless it's like the first turn of a tournament, because we're
Right.
usually at diametric ends of the
Spectrum.
spectrum,
Mhm.
of which that's probably true in terms of personality as well, because he's a lot more thoughtful than I am. But no, I mean, it was good. It was a good laugh. I don't think I played on any boards that weren't terrifying in terms of terrain placement or anything like that. And yeah, that's it. Just good
So,
experience all round, really. I was
so
just knackered.
given we're looking at warfare being D-Day, D-Day theme, you gonna take what army again next year?
Yes, I mean, that's why I've bought some more armor cars.
So you
'Cause
have
I
to do it
actually-
properly with the cavalry, yeah.
Correct, yeah. The Stuarts are a little bit too useful, so I have to crush that out of them. But no, I mean, the only other thing I would say is I haven't done a tournament in a while. My back, I absolutely ruined my back after day one. I was a mess, absolute mess. Could barely function. So yeah, it's just that standing and leaning ever so slightly far, like forward, and it just completely humped it. So
we got to work on doing some core
core
muscle.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I'm not involved. No physical activity. I'm planning on getting a brace, like JFK. So just like an armored corset, and just go with that. The only other thing I would say is that I made the mistake of buying a sandwich at one point in the venue
Bring
itself.
food if you
and
can.
yeah, my God, wow. I think I'm still paying it off. I think they've. I tried to Klarna it because it was that expensive, but they weren't having that. Yeah, but no, it's excellent. I mean, it was always excellent. I mean, the volume can be problematic.
Well, I mean that's why I'm looking at doing a 10 platoon limit for D-Day.
What for the
80
noise
point.
volume? No, the volume.
It means
sorry.
it's that big hall. You get a big hall effect,
Yes.
basically. There's not really breaking up the sound waves like
Yeah.
it would normally be in there with all the big stands. So
Yeah,
I was surprised
I
how
get that.
noisy it was compared to being there normally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not without sounding like being a Richard as well. I mean, I went and looked around some of the bolt action tables and some of the 40k and Age of Sigmar tables. I think we had the most cohesive looking tables and armies and everything painted and all that. The most bizarre one I saw was Berlin with camel riders in front of it, being attacking some Finns. I was like, this is just oh my God.
That's the trouble when you go to one extreme with a tournament, though.
Yeah,
and that's kind of why I like the idea of having a themed warfare, so you know what the theme is. And yes, if you only have one army, you can still bring that army. It's not, that's fine.
Well, no, what you're saying is punish the weak, Eddie. That's what you're saying.
Yes, that's exactly it.
But I mean, D-Day. If you're going to do a themed tournament, D-Day is on the do because almost, let's face it, everyone ends up with D-Day armies sooner or later in their life.
Exactly. It's
And I've done. All but through V3 I was doing themed tournaments, and people say, "Oh, you won't get enough people." We never had a problem getting people.
Yeah, to those people I say, shut the hell up. And Eddie, do it, book it, and they will come.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
I already have.
I like the idea of having the extra VPs there as well, so it even forces the gamey people to be like, I want to min-max this, but even if I win all my games, I can still lose to someone else who's won all their games.
It's nice. I like
the
it.
D-Day list.
The only thing I would say is, where's my Brumbar company?
Oh, that's at Phil Yates question.
Hey, stupid. Actually, have we got anything coming up with them where I can just ask him outright?
Outright to his face. Not that I'm aware of.
It's just stupid. I've got two as well, thanks to Panzerleer. I've now got 2 platoons of Brumbars. I need one more platoon and 2 for the HQ, and I can run 14 Brumbars. I mean, that's the dream, isn't it?
That is the
dream. A full Brumbar company.
Oh, it's going to be glorious. I've actually, that's just to make my, yeah.
I'm curious if they actually use company strength. I know obviously they were Brumbar. They were used. Okay, yeah.
In Normandy,
yeah.
In Normandy, they did it the same as the Panzer. You got the Panthers, Jag Panthers, and they deployed them as a company to face off the Churchills. Yeah, I believe there was a 217th Brumbar regiment, or whatever it is. Was it a regiment or battery? Because it's artillery, isn't it? I'm not sure if it's what it is, but I think they deployed them en masse. Glorious. Glorious.
So the 16th and 17th of November 2024 is the dates for Warfare. It is in Farnborough, even though it's the Reading War Game Show. It is in Farnborough. So put those in your calendar now, because I'm going to be running it, and I want maximum
be there,
be
and
there,
be square.
and be square.
Correct.
And have a hopefully awesome Red versus Blue tournament.
Should be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, no pressure, Eddie, but you just called it awesome.
It is going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the combination of my entire hobby life, and it will go terribly, and I'll quit and never play Toy Soldiers again.
No, I'm going to deliberately turn up and be like annoying.
You don't do that already?
Well, more annoying. I'm going to weaponise that annoyance.
Weaponised annoyance.
Full obnoxious.
I think you're fine.
Never go full obnoxious, Duncan.
Yeah, and then slow play everything, claim that there's no line of sight when there is.
Oh, no. The better one is that is when you have line of sight, but your opponent doesn't for reasons.
Well, yeah, for reasons. Because now that's kind of not that we had any instances of that. But that's why I'm not playing in the Warfare tournament next year, is to facilitate, especially for newer players, to have someone who's there to help, not coach, but rules coach, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And go through some of the discussions and make sure everything's happy. And the tables will be obviously a little bit more different, so I'll have time to talk to people and say, this is a Bocage table, but don't play it like Bocage, and hopefully print out some. I would say print out some paperwork packs for each of the tables to explain the scenery, but I know no one's going to read them anyway. So
don't play it as tall terrain cross checks. Play it as short terrain cross checks or something like that. Yeah.
Short terrain cross checks.
We'll make the Bocage fields larger than we normally would.
That is also a thing that I was looking at doing to make it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've got a whole year to discuss that. It's going to be really good fun.
We'll try out some table layouts, that kind of thing.
Yes. So it is episode 100, and my lovely wife Tacey has provided us all with a mystery box each, clearly marked not open until the 100th episode. It is the 100th episode. Boys, have you got your boxes?
I have got my boxes, yes.
I don't know what's in this. So
God.
I'm as much in suspense. This is people opening things on the radio.
And that's what's
you roll a dice. You don't have to roll a dice yet, Lee.
I just dropped a turret.
Is it now?
Yeah, I got them already.
Now.
I thought we were doing it next time.
No. Like, this is the
last. I'll put it away now. Oh, God's sake.
Let's get back out.
And the box.
Hooray!
There you go. Okay. Do not open until 100th episode.
This is the 100th episode. 100 episodes.
We have authority to open the box.
We do.
I've removed the student suit sticker, which is a very nice touch.
Yep.
We have released consent.
It says, I've got Alpha, Bravo, Dogger 3.
Yeah.
Launch.
We can breaking a little wafer thing, yeah.
So,
snap the keys now. Oh, I've got some... I don't know about you. I've got some tissue paper. Lovely.
now, what does yours say on the lid? Does yours have any messages on the lid?
Well,
Congratulations.
I'm hoping yours says, like, why, congratulations. Otherwise...
Oh, it doesn't say congratulations, Eddie.
Oh, no.
Mine says congratulations.
Also, I don't think this... have you got tissue paper?
Yes.
I've got red and black somethings, but I don't think it's tissue paper.
Oh, God.
I've got a whole bunch of stickers.
Oh.
I've got
a whole bunch of stickers.
Spray.
Oh.
Yeah, Chaos Black Spray.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Bloody hell.
A £10 Diceling voucher.
What?
A what?
No
way.
You not got in there?
Yeah, I've got that in there. I'm just saying, no way.
Buddy.
Both the cafe set up by pizza as well.
I got some Contact a Professional Revel.
So this is frustrating. I just literally ran out and bought a multi-pack of 3 of them. I added to the pile. Thanks. I appreciate you. I appreciate the guest.
Nice Humbrol brush.
Yeah. Brush, yeah. And
what's this?
Wasteland Brown paint.
Oh, no. I've got Vallejo Express Colour Copper Brown.
I've got Vallejo Express Orc Skin.
So is Express Colour there like speed paint?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
But better, apparently.
Okay.
Everything Vallejo does is better than Games Workshop.
So I think we've all got, luckily, apart from the inclusion of the lingerie in Duncan's one.
Yeah.
It's a
no, it says the same. I'm only teasing. Of course, it says the same.
Oh, lovely. So yeah, she's got us all a Chaos Black.
Oh,
which is ubiquitous. And actually, I need some. I'm just about to run out. That's pretty good.
Do you know what all it's made me do now? Is do the British thing of reciprocating a gift with another gift.
Oh yeah.
Saying thank you for the gift by sending another gift and then entering a feedback loop.
I am going to use. I've got a sheet of shoot and scoot stickers, which I'm going to use straight away on my laptop.
Your work one or your?
Well, this is my old work one that has valiantly recorded all of these episodes from around the world. I love this thing.
It needs to keep going.
Is this your calibration one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This thing has been inside the Arctic Circle, in the desert, bounced around in thunderstorms, halfway across the Atlantic.
Uganda.
And Uganda. It's America. Its main job now is,
just
once or
firing up
twice a month. I turn it on, leave it for a day to kind of update and figure out on a virus check, to then record the episode on and then edit it the day afterwards.
It's glorious. Oh shit.
Oh,
that's the intro wasn't wrong, Eddie.
What was that?
The intro wasn't wrong.
It wasn't wrong.
It wasn't wrong. No, your intro for today.
I can't remember 2 hours ago.
Oh my god, it was the one that said you got the best wife in the world.
I do.
Yes.
Oh Jesus Christ.
My intro. Sorry, yes, my specific name intro.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, she did write that herself on top of my box. So
did she? and the cardboard box, or just
controlling the narrative?
Controlling the narrative in the best way it says. Oh man.
It's almost too much. It's probably the nicest thing I've received all year.
It's the nicest hobbyist gift because it's just little bits of essentials, and I'm really excited to use this express color. What color have you got? I've got orc skin.
I've got wasteland brown.
I've got copper brown.
Nice.
Which sounds orangey.
Yeah,
hard to tell.
Feel like leathers. And that's the thing.
Yeah. It's hard to tell, isn't it? In the little pot.
Try a test model, to see.
Yeah.
You got orc skin. You got that sounds like.
Well, I mean, it's a nice olive drab color.
Also, it sounds like a sort of a Jewish enforced ceremony upon an orc.
That's an image.
Listening to when she's a scoot.
Mazel tov.
I mean, it's first like Hanukkah, isn't it? So it feels on brand. So.
Yeah, it'd be like 4 pounds of foreskin getting lopped off, wouldn't it? If it's an orc. Yeah, exactly. You could hear like it'd be like one of those salami slices just warming up in the background.
Well, there goes.
There goes our Israeli listeners.
There goes the clean rating.
Yeah, that's clean. I didn't say a single swear word then.
I've got a gift voucher. I can use that on Thursday. Yay!
What's it valid for? Is it valid for
anything but
cake?
Booze? I think. Yeah, you can use it on cake and the cafe. Not for use in alcohol products. Food and drink purchase must not be taken away from the premises.
What?
Well, you've got to eat it and then also go to the toilet before you leave.
So I've got to process that internally inside like a couple of hours.
To be strictly in compliance with the regulation. Yes.
Yeah. You're listening to Shoot and Poop. Our new high end of toilet rolls. Yeah.
Oh. Nice. Oh, I'm going to use all these stickers everywhere and zap things.
Yep. Just start doing what they do on the trains and things. Just stick them on the notice boards and things.
Yeah, but I do that on aircraft. It'd be fine.
Oh, there you go. That'd be fine. What are they going to do? Complain to you? I write the regulations, mate.
Yeah, I'll make it a requirement that they have to have the sticker, and if it's missing, then they're grounded.
Yep. Unlucky son.
Unlucky son. And a new paintbrush. Yay.
You're listening to Shoot and Poop.
Scherzen?
But that sounds like a terrible night out as well.
Shoot and Poop.
Yeah.
It's the poop pigeon shooting exercise.
Also sounds like something that the First World War soldiers would have done.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. We're going over the top tomorrow. Oh, Christ.
Yes, Lee.
What?
Save me. What are we doing?
Sorry, yes. So hello. This is part 2 of the recording with our live
episode 100 part 2.
Yep. Our live question and answer session with our patrons. although we found out there's actually a limit on Zencaster, so it's like the first 8 patrons that could get in here quick enough. So who are we joined with tonight then, Eddie? Who is joining us?
Well, tonight we are joined by the illustrious patron numero uno, Mr. Quinton Taylor. We also have the dubious facial hair wearing, multi-hatted Mr. Mike Everest.
Good evening.
We have Chris the German. That's his title, not mine. I'm not. He wrote that as his name.
Yeah.
Chris the German.
Hello.
We have Roy. Just Roy.
Evening.
There you go. We have the eternal tournament top place blocker, Mr. Martin Turner. No relation.
Good evening.
No relation.
And we have the illustrious Harry.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi. Lovely.
Oh.
Who are here along tonight to join us in this celebration of our 100 episodes.
100 glorious episodes.
100. Unfortunately, we're having some connection troubles with our chief archivist, who would be able to tell us how many hours and minutes of utter hobby trite we have perforated eardrums with throughout the world.
I'm just trying to find his last update. I think he gave to it quite recently.
And after that, he provided you an update of the stats and figures.
Hey-o! 220 hours and 27 minutes.
My God.
That's a lot of quality content.
Well, it's a lot of content. Yeah. It's a lot of content. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You could say it's a ton of content.
Oh, it's 100.
A metric ton.
Dear.
Not
a butt ton. Not a butt ton, yeah. I want to make it to a butt ton. That's got to be
butt ton?
175 at least.
It's like a butt fumble.
What's a butt ton?
It's 175.
Why?
Because it's not 2 tons, but it's more than a ton. No?
Is that a fridge? Is that fridge in the background leaking CFCs? Is that? Yes, just huffing on a fridge.
I know what we should do, guys. Let's make Blake War Leviathan's a PDF.
Yeah.
Yo, screw Italy. We won't release that.
Yeah.
Oh God, those CSCs are good.
Reminds me of my first whale I slaughtered.
God.
Sorry,
it's going to have the PDFs.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. Should we start with our first question then?
Yeah. So, someone raise your hand with the question.
Who's got
raise
questions?
your hands. I just don't care. Whoop, whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
Martin's done it in a very elaborate fashion.
He has.
Martin, what is your question?
Oh, get to ask the first question. Well, right. So we've had the video, we've had the joys.
Oh no.
Um,
This could be it.
How
This could be him.
how overexcited is Eddie going to be about Late War Leviathans?
I mean,
Yes, Eddie, you're the voice of optimism for this podcast.
So here's my hot take on the video. I'm disappointed.
Ooh,
Only
wasn't expecting that.
that the late war goalposts have shifted. Sorry, early war goalposts have shifted to 2025.
Yeah.
However, that disappointment is just because I'm particularly excited for it. As a whole, I think that it shows a lot of maturity. Overall, I think that video, although underwhelming compared to last year's, does show quite a bit of
Is this a
realism.
prepared statement?
I don't know.
No, I've been thinking about it all day. I watched it this morning.
Are you resigning as an MP?
So
You want to get Daisy to sit next to you?
I'm resigning.
Supportive.
I'm resigning from the podcast.
Is your name Peter Bone? Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll do the short form current previous fairs of. Oh my God, there's big tanks, and they're really cool, and they're going to be able to shoot things. And then there's going to be Marines, and then Japanese, and also like British Pacific. That's going to be absolutely like you can have like Matildas and stuff in the jungle.
There we go.
And I can I can like finally maybe not paint the toys that I've had for the last 5 years since early war Japanese were out previously. And I definitely won't buy more. So that's what I'm really excited about. And also, yeah, like tortoises and mouses. I quite like a mouse.
Just other farmyard animals.
Other farmyard animals in tank form. I think there's an underrated amount of farmyard animals that could be represented as tank.
Oh, absolutely.
Why is no one released a tank called the cow?
Yeah, or the Shetland pony.
And why is it not the French? Why haven't the French released La Vache?
La Vache.
'Cause
La Vache de
to
Mort.
me, that sounds the Mort. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, Mike, will you get your Leclercs? That's going to be a name of one of the tanks. Right? You're paying on the side.
Bonjour, je m'appelle les vaches les mortes.
Avez-vous un autre stylo?
This is an aside the Italian word for cow is mucca. You have a perfect
So that's like a strike bomber. A
Yeah,
Muka.
no, you can't.
Or an
That sounds
anti-aircraft
impressive.
missile. Bring up the Muka.
This is where the Eric's gets let us down because it just sounds like someone from, I don't know, from like Peterborough going, morning.
Bring up the Eric.
Hello.
Hello?
I'd like to place a bet at the Cheltenham Festival, please.
So, very excited about all those things. In a bigger, broader context of having been in the hobby for far too long, realising that next year is the 25th anniversary of the Guildford Games Club, and I've been running it for about 20 of those years. I think that pushing back early war is a great sign because it means they're not going to try and cram it in on top of other production stuff, which is what they would have done in the past. I think there are other things that hopefully, I'm fingers crossed, the optimism is coming through in a metered fashion, and that I hope there'll be other things they will surprise us with, such as something to do with Italy, something to do with other smaller releases that they can just throw in there to keep Flames of War late war current and vibrant whilst we wait for the early war drop. They've committed to doing a whole ton of plastic tanks and supporting the full range in plastics, which is fantastic for early war. That's going to be a full thing because they could have quite easily tried to stick with what they've earlier announced, round it into 2024, half-assed the whole thing, and it just been another, pop rather than the explosive bang that it deserves to be, I feel. The new style, quote-unquote new, in air quotes, of plastics that they previewed for the Team Yankee sprues fills me full of confidence because that means they're investing in their plastic technology again.
Is that the infantry?
Yes, because if you notice, the sprue is the same design as Games Workshop.
That modern, very compact, little space around model.
Which means they've used, from my limited understanding, I need to go and do some research into this. Yeah, they've done like flow dynamic research on how the plastic flows in the sprue rather than just using experience. So rather than having a square sprue and going, we'll put this bit here and this bit here, and it should all work, hopefully, most of the time, and having wastage, they've actually computed how the plastic will flow into the sprue and design the sprue to make that work for each part using a computer as opposed to using an old school, mold making technology, if that makes sense, which means you should get greater detailed stuff. Not entirely convinced by them inventing, again in air quotes, using cards for objectives. I think Games Workshop are already currently doing that. I think that maybe inventing is, we've come up with a new, I don't think it's new, guys. I mean, it's new for Flames of War and you've adopted it.
Is it new for Flames of War? Is it not just
a rehash? Cards, right?
I did think it looked a bit of a rehash of the Fog of War.
Yep, cards. It is. So for me personally, doesn't hold much fun. However, I can totally see people like my nephew loving that game as a gateway into Flames of War. Because if you think about it, and also non-historical hobbyists coming over, because if you think about it, if you are a 40k player and you're used to just having the big bad gribblies, I want the big bad gribblies, but now I want something about history and I want to come over, and you're like, I know that there was this big tank and I know all the poster childs of late war giant armor and I want that, and you go, well, actually they're going to be defeated by those like recruits over there, those old men and boys with Panzerfaust, because you can't assault into heavy into a building with these guys. That kind of the sharp juxtaposition of the historical accuracy of Flames of War, he says, trying not to laugh too much. The historical elements that influence Flames of War and the fact that those massive wonder weapons were, for the most part, useless compared to having to have the infantry to go in there and actually capture the bloody objective in the towns and the cities. Having something that is an easier entry with a bit more of a gaming background-esque side to it doesn't appeal to us because we're knees deep in the hobby of sprues and we understand how great the core game can be. But if it brings some people over from the outside, whilst also making use of all the models they've had to make under that contract from, I imagine, the perceived contract they've got from World of Tanks, I'm all for it. And I'll buy a starter set. I will give it a go. It might be a game that I'll play down the club and offer other people an opportunity to come and go, play some tanks, play some really light games. And to be fair, it seems like a really good starter game for Flames of War. Like, you can take whatever you want and here's some really big tanks, and the missions will be a bit interesting and flow around a little bit and change, but they won't be, as in depth as the full Flames of War. But yeah,
I can see that British German starter set, the Clash of Steel starter set, being quite useful because most of it you can still use in late war. It's really only the Centurions you use in Foan. It's really the mouse and the tortoise you can't use outside of the game. So.
And Narm. You can use Centurions in Narm.
And Team Yankee. So I'm going to buy that box anyway because I can use most of that box for other stuff.
So that was super exciting. I personally want to submit my thanks to Pete for making that video. If only because of the complete amount of Schadenfreude I had when I realised that Duncan was watching it and he got to the point where they re-announced the re-release of the 21st Panzer Company, 21st Panzer Division.
Remastered.
With remastered models.
And the Schlepper bloody actually exists as a card now.
The Schlepper OP is natural going to be a card.
Don't say
don't mention the war.
God bless them.
So that's my take, other than other things. Mike, have you got anything to throw into the mixing pot?
No, I was just going to ask another question when you were ready to...
I need to let the other two say, otherwise it turns into the Fez show. And also, it's quite funny to hear how disillusioned they are compared to me.
I mean
let's go with the Frowntown Parnell. Yeah.
So like I say, I appreciate early war going back is a pain, but if they're doing it properly, fine. We'll see. Pacific, that I can get interested in. British and Pacific, they showed it with their Grant and Lee tanks in Burma. Looks like some new.
It's going to be so good, Lee. It's going to be really good. It's going to be amazing.
Brits in jungle uniforms, that kind of thing. So I can get interested in.
My lovely boys.
So one thing I actually managed to get the Leviathans, which we know my opinion on late war Leviathans, and at least it's separate and not integrated in, so it's going to be really easy for the TOs to put it one side and do like D-Day themed tournaments still. But I was reading through the little screenshot of the rules. I'm wondering, they got this thing now for Leviathan games. We have X% of your points spent on Leviathans and Y% spent on non-Leviathan units. I was pondering whether you could take that and use it to get like Team Yankee, but biased towards Seeker, the third gen tanks in. Count them as like Leviathans and use the same percentages. So you're not getting overwhelmed with hordes of BTRs and T-55s. But so when that PDF comes out, I might have a perusal of it and see if there's anything to do with that.
But what do I do with my Iranians then?
Overwhelm things with hordes.
Because I don't have any second generation tanks.
The Chief M60 are second gens. But,
is it?
Can you not start naming the kids after tanks? Forward Abrams.
Yeah. Take him to the zoo. What?
Yeah. So the Clash of Steel thing, we'll see. I am. When they say Operation Unthinkable, when they have Germans versus Brits, I'm wondering what kind of Operation Unthinkable they actually I'm thinking of. But it's,
they've unthunked it.
It's going to be those things. Just literally, it's the Hollywood movie of a missile launcher rules for me. Just switch your brain off.
I know.
Go into it in that kind of element, and we'll scratch. Don't think of it to scratch the itch that you have for historical wargaming. It's just something else. And to be fair, the models, the pictures they showed of things like the tortoise and stuff, they did look like fantastic models.
Oh yeah, I can't.
They looked.
I cannot
really
argue
good.
the quality of the kits they show. They look
And
good.
they're going to be massive. The only downside is they're not metal and resin, because if they were, you could literally beat your opponent to death.
As
Yeah,
that Peter Pig mouse shows.
Yeah, but you'd also have to be like what's his name from the mountain from Game of Thrones to actually be able to lift your bag to take you to a game night. It'd be
I did
awful.
like the new army sets coming back as well. That was a good one. New late war army sets.
I just want to recognise my personal growth, and I saw those box sets, got really excited, and then looked at it and went, "Well, I have all of that apart from that one objective." So let's not.
Yeah, all you want is objectives, right?
So,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Duncan, what do you think about it? Yeah.
Me, yeah.
Cold.
Just yeah. What is it? I don't even care about early war. Yeah, throw that back. Get rid of that.
I
Get in the
forget
sea.
you're in early war. We'll convert you. You're going to be really mad when you end up loving it.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. The early war's got no poles in anyway. It's all going to be in France.
Telegraph poles?
No. I don't know. I just thought it was a bit. I don't think I can't remember anything I actually cared about. Was there anything I cared about? Because even like the what do you call it? The Eastern stuff, the Far Eastern stuff.
Yeah, the
Just
Pacific.
Yeah.
Do you not think though that at least for this year, it will give you a chance to complete the projects that you haven't done from the stuff that's already been released?
Probably.
Like maybe actually playing the missions from the books?
No, we're never going to play the missions from the book. I think we should stop kidding ourselves. That just feels like gaslighting myself at this point.
I think I'm gonna have to rewrite them to make it. Oh, Doug, I've just come up with this experimental mission.
That's it.
We play this. You'd be like, oh yeah, this is really good. You should
Ah,
submit this. They should have put this in the D-Day book. Oh yeah, they should have done. No, you're right.
mate. The chances of me playing those is slim because I don't even know what the standard missions are. When we go to tournaments and stuff, I'm looking at it going, oh yeah, okay, we'll play No Escape. Sure, I know the rules for that. You want me to do what? You want me to adopt a position?
It's like the Matrix. It's just 0
How dare you?
Adopt a position.
Yeah. You want me to adopt a stance? Okay. A little teapot.
Walk like an Egyptian.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably just focus on that. I mean, the trouble I think you're gonna find is that all the interesting stuff like for the Far Eastern stuff again is going to be like things like the British because they've not been out before, really. So aren't you going to get loads of people sort of gravitating towards that?
Well, yeah,
we haven't seen the Japanese either.
The people who already have Japanese armies and the Nikahaku teams.
There's no guarantee they're going to have Nikahaku teams. No one said that. No, one said that.
I'll make my own house rules.
Okay. We're at that
I don't
stage
care.
now.
They're going to happen. They're amazing. They were in version 3. They were amazing. Ben Davey. I mean, if Ben Davies playing them, you know they were good.
Well, yeah, they're broke beyond belief.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When he was like Nikahaku teams versus Soviet grants,
KVs and stuff, wasn't it? Yeah.
Now, I'll have you know, like Core local expert Tom Warburton, Japanese are rubbish. I don't know how anyone can play with them.
Japanese are rubbish.
He also said that French in the early war were rubbish.
I never lost with that French army that he lent me, ever.
I don't know how you can. You just wander up with Charbies.
When you lose with every army you play with, I don't think the army is the common factor.
Do you think you need to start looking elsewhere for the problem?
Yeah, it's definitely your dice. Buy new dice.
Yeah, dice are available from Dice of War.
Dice of War. Come on down.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. It was fine.
Okay,
They do seem to be taking a bit more of a, like you said, a grown-up approach to communicating
good, right?
that things are late. Yes.
If it means they can get more stock into stores for all the back catalogue of stuff that you want to do, amazing. And also, they're not going to release, or they've learnt maybe to not release everything or spoil everything in the Christmas video.
What, and then have no content?
Have some things up their sleeves. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because the big question always was what's going to happen after they finish Late War, which they've now done, quote unquote. There are other things they can go and do back again, such as maybe Italy, please, Italy. Did someone say Italy? Italy, Pete.
You can do Italy. You can do Italy.
Apparently, Mike Everest has something to say.
Yeah, he's jumping up and down like a wildling.
Avanti. Yeah, so that's my take on it. Mike, have you got another question, bud?
You're a beautiful lady.
Yeah, I do actually. I got two for a start. First off, how much Clash of Steel will they need to shift to extend Pete's boat by 40 feet?
40 feet.
Yeah,
You
That's
extend
quite a
boats
feat,
by
yeah.
40 feet?
Yeah.
don't-
The Vikings did it. Secondly, if Leviathans is going to be a PDF, do we think they'll bring out Italy as a PDF later this year? Please,
Ooh.
for the love of God, bring out Italy. I just, at this point, I'll do
You'll
anything,
accept the
man.
PDF, right?
I'll accept a PDF. I'll accept
So here's
interpretive
my-
dance form. Goddamn.
Here's my theory on it, right?
Oh, God.
My theory is they haven't done Italy because to do Italy and make money off the release of Italy, they need to have the models available. Right? And I think their major problem has been in the last year, they've had moments to release things and they've not been able to A, have enough stock for the new release, and B, support their existing lines, which are two major things that you have to do, which is the thing
but
that
what's
even Games
missing?
Workshop struggles with. What's missing?
Yeah, what's missing?
Sherman Freeze.
All the infantry lines.
Yeah, but that's it.
Dragoons, colonial infantry.
Yeah, but all the infantry and gun
and
teams, which are the main,
Good
which goes back to Lee's earlier point in offline discussions, which was about, what is Clash of Steel if not removing the two interesting combined arm parts of Flames of War? It's the reason that Flames of War works is because it is combined arms. You can't just go, as I've learnt in my many years of running big heavy tanks, with big
Repeatedly.
heavy tanks and
Yeah.
repeatedly. The definition of insanity is taking King Tigers again and hoping that something's changed. So I secretly hope that the reason they've done this lighter year, quote unquote, I mean, it's still quite a big release, imminent new releases of Mid-War and things like that, of Pacific, and then supporting the existing ranges of Great War and NARM. I mean, that's all production time in their factories that they've had to devote to do that, even though they've gone through this different distribution network of having specialist stores. They've still had to make that product, and that's still product that you're not making for your other games. So part of me kind of hopes secretly that they'll be re-releasing all of the bespoke Italian infantry, Italian theatre infantry, not Italian infantry, obviously, but Italian, those beautiful Commonwealth rifle sculpts and all of the weird bits and pieces and other drops, and maybe
I'm not going to lie. If they're going to release proper Italian infantry in like Regio Esercito, and like, yes, please, but that's never, ever, ever going to happen.
What for the fascist side, yeah, Mike?
Well, I mean, GNR. I honestly, if they were going to do GNR, that'd be cool. But like, that's not going to happen either, is it?
So yeah, I mean, that's who knows? I mean, that's the thing. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? I'm quietly hopeful that will be. That's one of the things they're keeping up their sleeves to find enough time to decide how to do it. I can't remember if I read something or heard something in the video about them finding a new. I mean, they've obviously got a new way of doing plastics. Whether or not they have a new way of doing the metal models or the specialist models, because they've kind of. I can't believe they'd invest all that money in the soft plastics stuff and then just dump that tech. But to me, and having had some of the later soft plastic models that had the better quality casts, they were pretty good. They weren't as good as metal, but nothing's going to be unless you want to pay that much money. And even then, metals themselves weren't always amazing. If you get a Duff but blister pack and you just
Yep, the end of a production run, and you get
Mm-hmm.
Senor Blobby and his mate.
Or wheels. The wheels when the two halves
wheels.
are like that. Yeah, like a continental drift of a.
Yeah.
Captain Bell's palsy leading the way.
Yeah. But I mean, so with Italy, so every release, Battlefront needs a tank release, right? For the time war the tanks.
True.
Now, picture, if you will. I've been working this
hello.
one out.
It's the pitch.
A new kit, a kit that covers multiple options. One kit that does all the welded hull, dry hull Shermans. The engine deck is what's different between a Sherman 1, a Sherman 3, and a Sherman 4, right? Diesel engine, original radial engine, the later
think?
Ford V8 engine.
You think
All-
that involves getting rid of a an already existing mold, though, right?
No, there's no dry hole welded
Oh.
hole Sherman kit.
Oh,
You've got
welded
the wet
hole.
holes. You've got the wet
Right.
holes later.
Yeah,
You've got the dry hole cast hole.
But
The Sherman
front of the
2.
seven,
please, can you
and
stop
then
saying the
you've
word
got
wet hull?
Wet.
I can't. It's hull.
Wet
Yeah,
hole.
we can't-
Yeah,
Nice.
we're going to lose our clean rating at this rate.
It's a clean rate.
You talk about dry holes and wet holes.
What have I changed to large hatch, small hatch?
Does one have a greater chance of inflammation?
But I mean, but ultimately, when you get down to it, no one really cares ultimately about the Sherman 1 and the Sherman 4, but the Sherman 3.
I beg your pardon.
Well, in terms of the actual rules effect, it doesn't really make much of a rules effect, but it gives it'll give the Russians their mid-war Sherman that they should really, really have.
Mm-hmm.
Not that helps T-34 in its own. Once again, T-34 gets another thing everywhere. Wants to take
child.
over it.
Oh, guys, can someone?
And like I say, it gives the Brits a Sherman the Sherman they mostly had for the actual Desert War in Italy theatre until the Sherman 5 replaced it.
What was
Hey, that's
responsible
just
for
my
the
thinking.
What was responsible for the destruction of most T-34s? Lend-Lease.
Yeah. Everything's better with it.
Everything's better when you don't have to pay for it. Yeah, no, I'm hoping that. So that was one half of the question. I can't remember what the other half was now. I've digressed into.
How many Clash of Steel boxes will it take to get a 40
that was it for
40 foot hull extension?
So, I'm quietly hopeful for Clash of Steel because of my hobby launch addiction, as it so feels, and that if it's a starter set, if it's a mass market starter set, Battlefront have had some very shrewd pricing on their starter sets. Like, they have really chased that dragon, and like, if that box set comes in at a very low price, I'm going to be buying one. I'm not going to lie.
That's what we were saying
Exactly.
offline.
Yeah.
It's 40 quid for 40 quid for 5 Centurions. Maybe it's 40-ish quid for 4 Centurions, 3 comets, and a bunch of German stuff I don't really care about.
I mean, at that point,
and some tortoise.
At that point, I'm buying 2 and just kind of going, oh, okay, that's fine. And I might play the game, I might not, but that's a ton of models, that most of which you can use, in other ways. So, yeah.
Next question.
Do we have a contender? Who's next? Please raise your hand. Otherwise, I've got to start making up questions.
Oh, right.
Hey, Roy's got something.
Roy was in there first, Chris.
No worries. One of the things that we've mentioned in the past has been if Battlefront had the ability to either reprint or reproduce their old molds, models, that sort of thing, like a print on demand, if they did it, would they get enough interest? Because a lot of those old models had a lot of character, much as you've talked about some of the metal slippage and all this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it is a chance to get some of the models that you just can't buy now. Is it the sort of thing they could ever do, would ever do?
I mean, Hermann Goering. I'd kill to get the Hermann Goering range now.
I've got an army waiting to be painted.
I know, you need to get onto that. But on the other hand, they probably had, when they re-released all the really cool Volksgrenadiers, the Panzersturm with the guy, I said how I was waiting for those to be released. They released them at Christmas when I had no cash. And by the time I actually had the cash to then go buy them the second time, they're out of stock. It's like, it's always go full foul of that as a timing thing.
And to me, the problem is they can't just release the one platoon, because if you're willing to pay extra to have the, because they are kind of models that you can easily proxy, is what I guess they are, because there's no, a Commonwealth Italian rifle platoon is no different in rules terms from the standard plastic rifle platoon.
Yeah.
If it's a proxy swap out to make it historically accurate for the dress and kit they're wearing for that theatre, you need to have the full range available so that you can take a deep huff of that pipe and that hobby crack pipe and get all the gun teams, get some of the crews to go with your sextons and that kind of thing, because that's what you want to do. If you're invested to that point, that's what you're doing. It makes no sense to buy 2 platoons of that and have your 25-pounder crews, wearing winter greatcoats.
Yeah, exactly. If yesterday, I want my £6 guys being shirts with rolled up sleeves, they're hovering around anti-tank shells and moving a big field piece around. It's
and a lot
exactly
of chickens.
And the chickens. Don't forget the chickens. The chickens are important.
Do you not think though that they could just do that like on a month by month basis? So like July is the Hermann Goering Division month, and you can buy all the Hermann Goering stuff, but you can only buy it in July.
So
Like Games Workshop do that.
I think the big issue.
The problem with that, and the problem with all of it, really, is because I think they've been so flat out trying to meet, and that kind of links back to the release schedule in the video for next year. They've been so flat out trying to keep up with their new releases that they haven't been able to have the thought and the space and the time to kind of go back and look at these other bits that they could be leaving behind. Yes, it's a niche thing. So GMT Games have the GMT 500, which is where because GMT Games is the card and chip war games company. Fantastic company. They do fantastic games, really in depth. It's that really crunchy type of thing. But they have a massive back catalogue. But they will sit there and they will have things. They go, right, this model, this game is now on the GMT 500 list. Boff, there it goes. And they've done this for the last 20 years apparently, where you can go there and you can buy the game. You pay your money, you've bought the game, but the game won't print until they've got 500 pre-orders. So
I think PSC did a similar sort of thing at one point.
Yeah, it will sit there and it will people will slowly rack up, and eventually when they've got enough to do a print run, boff, that all gets committed, it's done. That kind of logistical, ability, I guess, is the bit that kind of I think they need to work on.
Yeah, I mean, probably guys, when GW do this, their main market is Europe, UK, and US, and their production is Nottingham. When Battlefront want to do this, their main production is Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah,
it's going to throw a whole extra bunch of logistics on, but GW don't have to worry about.
And what wins laws? Logistics wins wars.
I thought you said laws. Sorry, I was just trying to work
Yeah.
out what.
I was like, what wins laws?
Yeah. Don't forget, you've got to extend the tube, take the game caps off, and that will then release the sites for your law.
But remember, it's only waterproof the first time you do that. If you fold it back down, it's no longer waterproof.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you can fold it back down, but it's no longer waterproof.
It's no longer waterproof after that point, so don't piss on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
What about an in-law?
I mean, you can piss on them if that's your thing. I mean,
it's Christmas time.
I think in-laws are mainly waterproof for most of the time.
Yeah.
Maybe not after collapsing them. I don't know.
You collapse an in-law and they're no longer waterproof.
It sounds
good to know.
Yeah. Good true facts. The truth of the world.
I think Chris. I think Chris was next, wasn't it? Yep.
Yep. To which models are you guys looking most forward to from the newly announced stuff?
Oh, I thought you said mothers then. Not you. Like, which mothers? I wonder where that was going.
Models, miniatures.
Miniature mothers.
Yeah. Which mother are you most interested in? Well, if I had to pick,
Stacey's mum's got going on.
Well, this school's over.
Deleted.
Yeah. Which model am I most interested? The IS3 is going to make me angry because I've got loads of them for my Egyptians. So as soon as it comes out in plastic.
But the great thing about the plastic IS3 is if you mess up and don't build the front hull glaciers quite right and there's a gap, it's historically accurate.
It was just falling apart. There's someone waving through the gap. Yeah.
Have you heard about that story? They paraded them down the Red Square as a big show of force at the end in 45 at the end of the war. Like, look at this amazing tank. They all got to the end of the corner and half of them were just collapsing under their own weight.
Yeah, fear us to the west.
Yeah.
That'd
be all right.
That'd be cool. It'd be even cooler if it was Checkpoint Charlie, but you can't have everything.
I think that might be one of the surprises.
What, Checkpoint Charlie?
I think so.
No, we've just been gassed it. 100%. Yeah, 100%. We're gonna make this. No, we're not.
I think Checkpoint Charlie and the Italy stuff are the two major things they didn't talk about in the video, which are the stuff that they coyly went, "We haven't," and other things we can't spoil right now because they're trying to figure out when they're going to release them.
Maybe.
Or Wars
I'll
version
leave it as a
2.
maybe. Was there any Team Yankee actually released apart from the plastic infantry in the video? I
No,
can't remember.
but
So
there was no mention other than those two sprues.
okay. But they're going to have to come in. They're going to have to come out in something. They're not just going to release 2 sprues, right?
Oh, correct. But like I say, I mean, we've always said before, like, there's only one version, one book that hasn't been updated yet, which is All Wars. So that's got to be done at some point.
Come on.
And the timing is somewhat problematic, obviously. But that didn't stop the Warsaw Pact book, as we always say.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I mean, so out of all the releases we saw, the one I'm really looking forward to is the 14th Army Infantry, the British in Burma. Like that little shot they showed looked good. I like the look of them. The slouch hats.
Oh, it had the whatever hats, bush hats.
Slouch hats.
Right?
Yeah,
slouch
hats.
Slouch.
Does that mean I can do Chinese finally?
Chinese nationalists, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, because they
there
had
was a PDF, wasn't there?
Well,
Chinese
they've got
nationalists had American equipment, so yeah, definitely.
No, not thinking about them. I'm thinking about before that, early war, where they got
German
like
kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, German kit. Yeah, the Deutsche Afrika Korps Asian edition. Yeah, that's what I want.
And the text chat always just noted that one of the things they mentioned for Team Yankee was new starter sets with the infantry, which would be quite interesting to see how they get integrated.
It would be plastics again, wouldn't it? It'll be all plastic box sets. So
you could have like BMP's infantry for the Soviets, Bradley's US infantry, the other side. That's all plastic. A few tanks.
Yeah, that would do.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I could get behind that.
Humvees.
When you've been doing this podcast too long, when you sit there and you hear that conversation, and in your head, you're like, what would Battlefront actually release that would be completely different from that? It'd be like platoon of infantry and 15 Apaches.
No, it's like huge.
And then part of you're like, yeah, they probably would do that. It'd be an Apache strike force.
No, it'd be Hueys. It'd be the Huey. It'd be 15 Hueys in the one platoon that it takes all of that air capacity to lift. Yeah.
Mike's just messaged about the Jungle Strike box, and I must say that one of my goals this Christmas is to complete Desert Strike on the SNES, which I've got hooked up to my TV right now.
Oh my god!
Retro game.
Awesome. Oh, it's no Mega Drive, but it's still awesome.
You 3-button peon. Can't handle 4 buttons, can you?
4 buttons? No.
The SNES has 4 buttons. The Mega Drive only has 3.
Yeah. I was the Game Master System.
Until the later system had 6 buttons. Yeah. Later controller.
I didn't realise you had multiple fingers.
Norfolk controller.
Mash the keypad for your
high 6. Before the next question, I'm just going to get no beer. I'm back in a sec.
Oh, not professional. Not professional at all. Right, quick, let's talk trash about Lee.
Yeah. What you got?
Make a note of this and edit it.
I mean, you need to warn Casey now that her mum's in danger.
This is a trap. So I'm going to go... Mike, what's on your painting table? Right now.
Red Storm Rising. I've got an entire... I'm doing basically after reading Red Storm Rising. I've rather foolishly backed myself into a corner of getting a whole bunch of stuff for doing the defense of Allfeld, which is where the Russians attack in Germany. And there's like some amazing sequences with it. I'm writing articles for it as well. And it's where a guy called Terry McCall leads a bunch of M1s with a bunch of Jaegers, so German reservists, Panzerlehr, who are there, and there's like quite a specific bunch of stuff that's in there in the order of battle, which kind of crops up. So I'm going to do that. I've already got the Ivan stuff to go against it, and that's all painted because I've taken custody of Nathan's red stuff. But yeah, at the moment I'm doing Devil's Cross, doing A10 tank busters and things like that.
Do we think is Red Storm Rising a good first Clancy book to read?
Absolutely, it's standalone. Yeah,
absolutely, he's standalone. You don't need to read anything else. Like honestly, his output gets very Garth Marenghi's Dark Place in that he basically has no editor by like the year 2001, And he's like, I'm just gonna do this. You know, like I'm gonna bang out 4 800-page books. Watch me, I'm doing it. He basically invented Chat GPT before anything else.
You start realising after a while that Tom Clancy has two things. He has this really weird thing about corn-fed beef, and this real big thing about pregnancy fetish.
It's definitely. I'm Catholic. Yeah, really cool, man. But yeah, Redstone
He's
Rising,
coming up.
honestly,
Trust me.
it's amazing. It's 33 hours on Audible or whatever, and it's top draw.
I've just ordered a second-hand copy of the book for £3.30 delivered to my house. So
do you think it's better than? Do you think it's better than Jurassic Park?
Well, that's Michael Crichton, so yeah.
No,
I thought Jurassic Park was the
Redstone Rising
ancient
versus Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park was the Ancient Historicals tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I've just finished off Terran McCall's Platoon because I having read the book, I was chatting with Lee about like, what to kind of paint him with, and Lee's like, Mike, don't you know guys who are actually out there in the 80s? I was like, oh yeah. So, yeah. So I know like guys who are in the tank corps. I met one, Jeff Schnackenberg, who's a retired lieutenant colonel who knows both tanks and then transferred onto A10s. So he was a A10 coordinator, and then a mate of mine, Guy Gormley, who was an infantry officer in 87, so he was out there. And another mate of mine who was involved in frigate actions hunting subs from 1987. And he was on a Knox class frigate and also a Perry class as well, which is they all feature in Redstone Rising. So I've just been picking their brains about insane stuff like nuclear depth charges. Yep.
If you remove the ocean, the enemy is unable to hide.
You cannot use these subs if there is no ocean. So, yeah, but basically that's what I'm doing. It's my big Redstone Rising project at the moment. So if you keep your eyes on Breakthrough Assault, there should be articles and stuff coming up.
Can you imagine being just a passing tuna fish or something when that went off? Just swimming around doing your little thing.
We wouldn't know much about it, mate.
Well, no, you could be. You could just be like thrown 400 feet in the air. Yeah.
What's going on, man?
You grow an extra eye. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, next question.
We need to. Oh, go on.
I do have a question, but I'll let somebody else go next. If somebody else hasn't got one.
I'm waiting for Darren to hit us one. He's been very quiet.
He's been very coy.
Lurking.
It's hard to ask questions and write down stats at the same time, I imagine.
Yeah,
He's got his notepad and pen.
Takes his position very seriously.
Yeah. I guess the floor is yours, Mike.
Right, I'm going to throw a rules query at you. Having read ridiculous things like that, within the book, there are stealth fighters. It's a stealth fighter bomber called a frisbee, which is a really weird thing that Tom Clancy kind of theorized about stealth fighters called the F-119. It's really cool, but it's stealth. If you're doing Team Yankee, stealth stuff exists. How do you play stealth in a house rule with things like fighter bombers? Like, it's pre F-117, isn't it? So it'd be like, it would be the frisbee, I guess, which is the kind of the weirdo F-119 thing. Because if you're playing Team Yankee, it's counterfactual. You might as well do what you want. So how do you play stealth?
So the way I do it is it negates the radar rule. So all the gun-based AA's range is vastly shorter.
Yep.
Because in reality, stealth doesn't make you invisible. It just cuts down the effective detection range of most things. And you fly through the. If you imagine overlapping circles, it makes the circle smaller, and you fly in the gap in the circles. Mm-hmm. And then for guided AA, it works slightly differently. Anything the guided AA rule, I'd say, is an extra +1 to hit, basically.
That seems easy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I'd do it differently. I don't know about you, Eddie.
Well, I would just paint my normal A10s black and then claim the stealth rule.
Oh my god, you're the worst.
If you paint an A10 black, you make it a Cobra Rattler, and then you have to go Cobra la 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 every time you use it.
And then I had to reroll all successful hits. Not just the first ones, all successful hits. You had to just keep re-rolling until you missed with every single one.
But that time I got to get my little RDF tanks because they're obviously G.I. Joe Mauler tanks.
Yes!
So it's...
See, I do it slightly differently. I do it so that like they have the area effect almost around them. I would do it so that no one knows what they look like. So you have to take them around check to bail out as people just go, "Oh my god, it's a flying saucer." That's it.
Has no actual effect other than instant morale check for everything under a salvo template as it flies
Exactly,
past
yeah.
you. It's like, oh my god, what was that?
Let's get a little frisbee out, just go wee.
You got the little way
Yeah.
Tip your
Jensen
marker,
Parker Weird War 3 flying saucer thing.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, don't say it's going to have rules and come Clash of Steel,
Of course
oh,
it is.
absolutely, yeah.
There'd be yeah.
Oh, I know what we can do as well. I've got a package from North America that's arrived that said don't open till the 100th show. This is the 100th
Is
show,
it a
right?
suspicious white powder or anything?
Well, it's from Daryl Noonan.
Is this
He's
where
not here.
It's be allowed a big white flash on a camera and then Duncan
Yeah.
goes offline?
Yeah.
I
Wait a minute. It's a head. No, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow.
What's in the
Hold on.
box?
What's in the box?
Hold on. It's only that big. So look, it's
It's
only widgy. It says
So
do
it's
not open.
baby head.
Baby head.
Look, open it up. What's in it?
Terrain. Pull up.
Some 81ml waters for a Finley. Hold on. No, that's not right.
I think it might just be packaging being
That's
used.
packaging. Yeah. Hold
That's
on.
packaging. Ooh.
Open it. What's
Hold on.
inside?
So it looked like a Finnish 81ml water blister, but it's not. Man opens thing on internet. This is even
The
better.
thing is, I know what's inside. I'm just
Do you?
Yes.
Oh. Ah. Well, for starters, there's something that's never getting used.
You said him
A lucky card
You said him a lucky card.
from Bulge, Germany. It's like, oh my god,
Best-
that's the one I shredded. That's the one I
best-
shredded.
Best episode ever.
Oh, hold on.
That's
Hold on, there's something else.
Do not
There's something
forget
else.
that Daryl Noonan never misses with artillery.
It's a Kleinpanzer Schwimmwagen with rules and everything.
He's got a unit card.
Yeah, and a Kleinpanzer Schwimmwagen. Hold on,
Is that the one with... It's a Klein Panzer's the one with the...
Multiple
rockets on?
Panzer
look
Shreks.
at that.
And the model.
Yeah, and it's painted,
It's like the Spandrel's older brother.
and it's got rules for it. Oh, you absolute son of a!
Oh my god.
Guess how much one Kleinpanzer Schwimmwagen is?
Is it 3 points?
No, it's not 3 points. 6 points. 6 points. How can that be 6 points? It's got no armor.
It's a Schwimmwagen plus a Klein Panzer, obviously. Come on, go with the program.
So you can have a platoon of 3 of them for 18 points.
Oh my god, that's happening.
So hold on, it's got the following rules.
Mr.
You ready? So the weapon team can only hit
Sherman, yeah.
targets fully in the front of the team, so it's forward firing.
Forward firing. Yeah.
Amphibious, obviously crucial.
Yeah.
Yep. Lucky. Once per game, the unit can re-roll 1 die. The second die roll must be used. So it's got built-in lucky,
Built-in lucky.
which is even worse. And then hatred. These vehicles fill the drivers with an intense rage and hatred for both the vehicle and themselves and the enemy. This makes the vehicle have a -1 to hit, but also gives the unit a -1 to be hit during the enemy's next shooting phase. This ability can only be used every other turn. Oh my god.
And it's an official.
It's
looking
trained.
card.
It's trained and aggressive.
What's the cross value?
6. This isn't fun.
Look,
It's actually better for someone's nice of play testing. So,
It's only got a tactical of 6.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, if you had 3 platoons of those, you could really mess up a D-Day mission.
Oh my god.
As you go off Panzer Shrekking the
What?
from the war,
Panzer Shrekking the landers.
counterattack. Cross the T.
Oh
Cross
my god. Across the
Napoleonic.
Hold on. It's got amphibious, which means it treats impassable water as difficult terrain,
Yep, but across.
which has still got you need a cross. So it's not-
Sunny 4.
Oh my god. Thank you, Daryl.
Oh, Daryl. Epic trials.
I love it when our patrons send us mystery
Oh my
parcels.
god.
No, let me reiterate. I love it when our patrons send mystery parcels to our 2 rows 2.
Yeah.
The other guy's addresses.
Duncan,
Oh
I
my
expect to
God,
have to play
absolutely.
against that when I come and see you.
Trained, aggressive, confident.
Expect to.
It's not even good. Yeah. So he can't shoot and scoot very easily. Actually, it hasn't got Stormtrooper. Oh, God. Right, okay.
It's getting better.
For 6 points, it's a bargain. I'll have.
Out of a company, please.
Yeah, company, please.
Can I have those
Dear
and
Phil.
bars?
Oh, Brumbar update actually. So
Breaking
I've
news.
repaired the 4 additional ones that I bought from Panzerleer. So they took a bit of a beating on the way home because apparently the shirts still don't stick very well.
Apparently. Is that
Apparently.
design flaw? That's not a design flaw with the model, though, surely.
Oh no, it's not designed for the model. It's clearly, a completely
error.
reasonable thing to have 4 tiny connection pieces and then 3-piece side skirts. I mean, why not? But yeah, I found the final 4. That'll make 3 platoons of 4, and then I might be bidding on eBay on the final 3. So that would be the full company of Brumbar.
Excellent.
Full company. I don't know what they would do, but they would scare like just an infantry company to pieces.
I mean, my British kangaroos wouldn't know what to do about that thing. That's just
They're only 87. Your kangaroos are impervious.
fishing for ones, yeah. If you send me a gun, that's all I
Yep.
care.
Yeah, fut.
Okay then, Roy. Going to pick on you now. What's on your painting table, buddy? In this Christmas period.
Combination of Leagues of Votan.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Nice. Squat.
that's Eddie's wheelhouse.
a
Engorged.
short order.
Yeah.
Yep. Some Kings of All Halflings
Ooh, even
and
shorter.
He's working down in
There's a
scale.
theme.
British Crusaders.
Low slung tanks. There you are.
There you go.
When you say Crusader, do you mean?
Yeah. Is it King Richard?
King Richard going forth.
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
I'm
nice.
giving away this bride.
I give away this bride. Only those of a certain age will appreciate the terror released upon the UK chart scene upon the release of that movie.
And this week is still Bryan Adams.
Yeah. Wasn't Wet 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 about the same time as well?
Well, it's all that sort of early 90s, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
They're
my
about the same
days.
length of time.
Yeah.
I think my hair's just grown curtains by itself. Just
Yeah.
The centre parting is coming
Centre
back.
parting curtains. You need an undercut as well.
Yeah, it's a cure for receding hairlines, that one.
What, an undercut?
No, listening to Bryan Adams on repeat.
Oh, okay. Bow, 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 wow.
Nice, no, good.
So,
good mix
yeah,
of systems there.
What's going up first, though, Roy?
Yeah, what's first? What's
first?
What's the priority?
Leagues of Votankers are almost done. It's the
What colour?
orange and blue.
Yes.
Nice.
You got to have orange.
Nice.
Now we're talking.
Yep.
McLaren colours.
I think you should segue to your. Oh, sorry, Roy.
Ooh,
there you go.
Let's
nice.
see. Oh.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Stand up. Sorry.
How far away? This League of Votan is very small. This one is far away.
I think they don't look that short. They're not squats, put that way.
No.
Who
They're not like
likes
the old school.
Squats.
Yeah, they're not the old ones. They've got a trike now, haven't they? Because that's the
Oh.
most exciting thing about squats.
Other trikes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Wom, as evidenced by this here.
But has it got wheels?
No, it's got little anti-grav pads.
Oh,
Flying.
oh dear.
I only have one because I'm using it for Necromunda. Because that way you can just buy one and not have to spend £150 on an army. Then he spends £120 on a bloody stupid squat vehicle that fits 4 figures on top of it.
But it's resin as well, so they got all that fun trying to stick together a Forge Rod model.
To be fair, 2 very important things. First of all, the packaging is massively improved in that it was a gigantic box, so it's big enough box. It's not all wedged into a tiny little thing. They have little plastic inserts for all the delicate bits, so they're all done.
Oh,
it
cool.
has full instructions, which are detailed as a GW kit is. And the only point that is slightly negative, well, other than the cost, of course, is Am I thinking about that? No, the molding. The molding's really good. It's really crisp. It's done perfect. So obviously it's brand new. We'll have to see in 2 years' time, and the mold's been through a couple of usages if it stays the same. But the molding is really good. But obviously you still have all the resin downsides of sawing the fill sprue bits off and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be good fun. But yeah, I was very impressed over my previous Forge World boxes purchases, which was like, oh, you buy this aeroplane and it's in a bag. Good luck. Just a bag of parts of everything all just mushed in.
I just have to carve your own parts out of some of this flash.
Yep. Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. By the way, that isn't a wing. That's just the cockpit. Good luck.
I remember Nathan building one of the original Bane blades, sort of the first run Forge World Bane blades. It was experience.
Yeah. Buy shares in Dremel. Yeah. Very good. Anyone else got a question for this extended edition of An Officer Answers?
I think you should ask Mr. Turner what he's doing, because he looks like at the
Mr.
moment.
Taylor is waving, yes.
Oh, Mr. Taylor's waving as well. I was going to say, because Mr. Turner looks like he's at the Overlook Hotel at the moment.
Hey, gentlemen. I've got like 5 questions. I had to write them down because I've been
Oh
drinking.
my God.
I've been drinking. So, first thing I want to say, though, in total seriousness, congratulations to you, gentlemen, all 3 of you, for 100 shows. It really is quite impressive, and I've enjoyed many hours, not nearly as many as Darren, but I have. The second thing I'd like to say is thanks most recently to Eddie for the great job running Warfare, stepping in. You really made my weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
To Duncan for being a phenomenally enjoyable opponent. That was my favorite game.
It was my favourite game too, Quentin.
Oh, thanks, man. And
I'm glad I heard that.
To Lee, like, seriously, you guys are cool, but Lee, thank you so much for lending an army built to order. So, like, absolutely amazing, man. Thank you. Thank you to all
That's
3
no
of you.
problem. Least I could do for signing off to Dubai, so missing out meeting you. So
I'm glad to hear you did enjoy the game, because I did walk past at one point, and both of you had serious fun sapping faces on.
Yeah,
and I'm
always serious.
And I'm
serious.
Are you guys all right? And you're so into the game. You both went, yep. I'm like, I think they're having type 2 fun, which is okay because they'll enjoy it later. But at the moment, they definitely do not appear to be.
Well, I've listened to 100 episodes of Duncan saying he's not very good at this game. And Duncan is very good at this game. He just pretends he's not.
In the past year, that man has upped his game. And he hasn't told anyone, and I think that is a disservice to us. Because the amount of times I've gone there and went, oh, this is fine. I was just taking a fun army of Hellcats, and my SS Tigers are now on fire. And why are they heading into that building? And now he's contesting. And it's okay. He hasn't seen the fact that he's bailed that guy out, and he just needs to assault one stand over there. And no, but he's assaulted from that other stand that I didn't even see had moved up into that building previously. And now I've lost the game.
I think
it's like I was third at Nationals. And Duncan has just whooped my ass, smiling, he's laughing the entire time.
No, I think he's doing me a solid there, because it came down to a Warfare whether I could roll a 6 on a D6 and get a draw. It's a game of skill, boys. It's a game of skill.
No. Like, in all seriousness, I was like, he'll forget about the ambush. The ambushes were all denied. Like, he was thinking. Anyway.
I was scouty.
Yeah, you were very scouty.
I think that's Duncan's major asset is there's a lot going on behind the scenes. He just doesn't look like he's thinking at all.
That is a great asset, actually. That is. I'm not agreeing, but if that were an asset of yours, Duncan, it would be a good one.
I was going to say, it's like the little monkey, the banging the cymbals together.
Yeah. So
that's been run by ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of Warfare, though, I hear. Eddie, you're running the next Warfare. Is it acceptable to the TO of the Warfare 2024 for Duncan's list to have his new unit in it?
Ooh.
Well, unfortunately, for 2024 for Warfare, it's going to be exclusively Yag Tigers.
Oh.
So I'm mean,
Okay.
I guess I could make an exception.
Can I bring my broom bars? Because they're like a tiger's like bastard child.
Well, no. The only is Jag Tigers with the alternative list swap for Le Flanderstem.
That's the same army. It's not even changing nationalities. What kind of fever dream is this?
I do have. Are you going to let him?
I will allow it. Only I will put the proviso that the unit must be deployed in a water feature and cannot move out of a water feature for the duration of the
So
game.
just swimming around. That's fine. I can live with that.
But don't worry, every ball.
It won't be able to move out of a water feature
I'll
if
do it.
it's a
Don't
6
worry.
up to
I
cross.
use my lucky card, Darren. Don't worry.
Lucky you got a terrain reroll on a 6.
Yeah. Don't threaten me. I'll do it.
Cross here, that brings to 5. Then lucky makes it practically a 4+. So it's
Yeah,
You've
there you
changed,
go.
Lee. You've become all gamey.
I'm not supposed to change. I've just gone back to my old 40k habits. That's a problem.
Oh no.
Next, you'll be saying he should, attempt a stormtrooper. Oh, he can't. He hasn't got a stormtrooper.
No, I can't. Yeah.
That's
Stupid
the
card.
stupid.
Stupid card. Coming over here.
I do have a few more questions if you guys have time.
Go for it.
The one, are you three coming to the Romanian Nationals?
I am not.
Is that just you? I'm just
Yeah, so far.
Okay.
So far.
Yeah.
But if you sign up, then it'd be 4. So-
I see how this recruitment drive is going. Yeah.
Is that the one we shared the dates of earlier?
well, you tell me when you're available, and I'll set a date.
Was that? Oh, okay.
It's a very flexible system. Yeah.
Oh, there was
The dates you saw earlier on the breakthrough, that was the Scottish Nationals, which I got very confused about because I thought the Scottish nationalism. I thought, well, I've never been doing this.
So, a couple of more serious questions if you get time. One, I'm building a Canadian army based off of 3 Canadian division. I've got the flag here. I've known some people Darren's introduced me to that worked in 3 Canadian division. And with some help from Darren, the archivist here, there's some intention to get to as historically accurate as I can get, and maybe even include the names of some of the officers, the OCs, the lieutenants, and such.
Ooh.
And my question to the 3 of you is it creepy or is it okay to put people's names, not famous people, onto the table and watch them not succeed?
Survive or not survive.
So I gave this earlier because when they did ask it, I put it out to him. My British Army for Team Yankee is based around Bree Squadron 3RTR, my dad's regiment. And each of the tanks is numbered, so I know exactly which tank is my dad's tank. And every game of Team Yankee I play with that tank on the board, it's died.
So first of all, if you're using Canadians, if it is at Warfare, which is a shoot and scoot tournament, they have to be 28 mil because we're big in Canada.
You are.
Oh my god!
Very good.
Is it good?
But I've seen the numbers. It seems you're really just big in Darren.
Big in Darren. That's a whole different live stream chat. So
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sign into our OnlyFans to experience.
Mike's just posted what I was going to say. Me and Mike have a mutual friend called Simon, who got really into LRGG in the Burning Empire's version 3 days of Flames of War, to the point him and Mike work at the same place. He was boring Mike each day with the unit history, and he had
so much about this now.
Not even the commander. He knew every single person on his army, what their names were, pretty much. It was crazy. What Simon really got into that for us.
Because all the photographs could be cross-referenced with their names. He had all the Chevy trucks with the proper numbers and identification numbers on them. So therefore, this guy was this guy, that guy was that guy, and that guy was this guy. And it was Yeah, I got to know a lot about it because Coffee Time and with Simon was it was great, but yeah, it was deep stuff.
Coffee Time with Simon sounds like an amazing offshoot podcast that we should.
Coffee Time with Simon. Did they have the nicknames?
Where
or
we were
was it just
working was
names?
not an amazing place. That's a slightly more not PG rated podcast.
So was it the nicknames or was it actual names? Was it like, this is Chopsy, this is
That was it was their actual names.
actual names?
Actual
Okay.
names, yeah.
Fine.
So I think it kind of comes back to the whole
Why are you doing it?
uniqueness of historical wargaming in a way, in that we are essentially making a game of something that happened to people that was crap, to put the clean rating version on it, and what your motivations to doing that and why and that kind of thing. So having the cognitive dissonance of
that's a big word.
I've done a human factors course last week.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
My favourite one, which I giggled to myself as it came up, was ETO, which is efficiency, thoroughness, trade-off. And all I could think about was the amount of times that I sat the night before a tournament going, yep, I definitely went for the efficiency rather than the thoroughness in the trade-off of painting that army.
Tough on.
Yep. It's efficiency. There's no thoroughness here. I've forgotten to paint that guy's face. That's fine. Let's just crack on.
Wait, German grey's not the same as field grey.
Don't. Don't. Oh. I nearly regifted that platoon to my nephew for Christmas. I can't face repainting it.
Is it any worse having named people than having 11-year-olds with Panzerfaust? No, it's like a serious question. As in, that's a thing. That's a thing that's just in the game.
I mean, and it
you
comes
gravitate
down
towards zombies, yeah.
It comes down to the sensibilities behind it, and I think, are you using it as a form of remembrance of this thing that people did and keep relevance, not so much remembrance, but more relevance. It makes it relevant to what's going on, and at the same time, it's no different to other pastimes that people do, which are just equally as weird if you look at them through an objective lens. I for one, I enjoy playing the SS simply because when I lose, I can claim a moral victory.
Are we the baddies?
I never forget that when I think it was Nathan rolled up with his wasps and flamed an entire platoon of SS off the board in a single round of shooting. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, that's really unlucky. I was like, oh no, oh, my poor SS, what a shame. Oh, I'm really heartbroken they've met a fiery end. He did then go on to blow up my Panthers, which I wasn't happy about.
Oh God, there you go.
No, I think it's a good point about the fact that we are playing with toy soldiers for people who did things in real life. But I think it is it's a very personal approach in how you do it, and as long as you're not being disrespectful in the way that it goes, it's just a.
Is it a rule one thing?
As in, don't be a dick?
As in that, yeah, exactly. And rule 2 being see rule 1.
Yeah. And rule 3 being if you have to ask, you're probably breaking rule 1.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You're doing this, from a good position. Yeah. You're trying, you are as a Canadian doing a Canadian division that serves in the unit. You're doing it for all the best intentions. To me, that's not creepy. That is, like you say, it gets back to a certain amount of reverence being shown for the actual unit. It's good.
All right.
There's no difference to running Whitman, is it? Really?
That's a leap.
What I don't like is when people run Whitman and then use them in like a tactically sound way and hide behind things. So if you're going to run Whitman, you have to just drive into the midst of the biggest pile of things you can see.
Canadians and the SS, name a more iconic duel.
Battlefront in my wallet.
Pete, new boat.
Pete's boat and my crippling debt.
Pete, why is this called the Saucy Sue 5? Well,
Well,
Eddie got a pay rise this year. Yeah.
I look
You
forward to
got
seeing it.
you got time for more
Yeah.
Hey, well, I was got a question just before anyone, just
to
Email.
share?
that's it.
Yeah.
Right, go for it, mate. Quentin, it's all yours.
Oh, I think you're muted, mate. You're on mute. Next slide.
Boys on my waistline.
The re-release of the 21st Panzers kind of got me a little excited. I thought Duncan would be excited, but nothing excites Duncan anymore.
No,
So,
I'm just a hollow shell of a man.
so I'm thinking about this. Like, is it a good army to build, or is it as bad as Duncan says it is? And asking for the opinions, and would love to hear Martin as well, if you're willing to share.
Go on, Mr. Turner.
21st Panzer, front number 2. You've had it.
But building it is the building it.
building I was gonna say building those models was just is a grim event, but it's different, looks different. So, it depends on what you like, really.
Okay, the question is,
you can make it work.
can you make it competitive?
You can make anything competitive, as Eddie would tell you.
I need to step in here and say that you're speaking to the guy who won the UK Nationals with freaking cavalry.
And
So
Hungarian cavalry.
asking him is it competitive may not. Your results may vary.
Once warfare, we're a Finnish army that wasn't just T-26s and a King Tiger. Martin is very much definition of it's the player, not the list.
Not the list.
It doesn't matter what you play with. Yeah, if you apply.
Hold on, I'm writing this down. This is good stuff.
you know more than this. If you apply a bit of thought to what you're doing and focus on what you need to achieve in the game, it doesn't really matter which army you play with.
What?
So what I'm hearing, Martin, is you're going to win the GT with shrimp bargains.
I have got a large number of shrimp bargains in the cupboard of opportunity. I have recently acquired.
You can't do shrimp bargains, man. It's
just
soul
that's a challenge.
You might as well just not play with like 6 points less than everyone else. You're done with it.
Yeah, well, that's been that. Well, I leave that to you and Lee to forget to put points.
Oh yeah, to deploy units.
You should lock yourself up for that one.
I mean, to be fair, I left 9 points off the table. I've got the average. So
those are rookie numbers. You've got to pump those numbers up.
I was going to say, what were the SU 1? How many points were the SU 100s? 28 or something.
They were 25.
25
so, in a 100-point list. I did wonder why it was a bit of an uphill struggle.
But yeah, it's like anything. You can win games, and 9 times out of 10, it just depends on what you're playing.
I would caution against the
boys do give me a
build.
bit of jip about. I do seem to do quite well at the moment, but there again, I spent probably more years than anybody else playing. But yet, when I look through my cupboard of pots and trophies and awards and things, there are whole big long periods where I never won a game. Went to tournaments, just got blad. But it's all just an accumulation, and you have periods where, I always think when you're playing, if your luck's going well, ride it. You just got to be smart enough to take. If it's going your way, just keep your foot on the gas. Don't
push it.
Push it. Yeah, just push it. Just
push it when you can, but don't rely on it working.
No. So salt and pepper that.
It is, very much.
Season to taste. Yep.
No,
I totally agree, and I also think it's been quite interesting coming over the fence, as it were, and going into the world of being more competitive with the.
If you're going to start, are you going to start talking about the ETC again?
The Echo Tango Charlie. And
is there a B side? Can we tell us how?
It's a Christmas single. And to be fair, that's time for me to thank Lee and Duncan for being my balancing force throughout my journey, which could quite have easily, given my personality, consumed me in all of the worst ways.
I've always just balancing your eternal optimism with our our jaded citizens.
Well, there's that too. I mean, that is a valid trifecta of relationships. But I think there is definitely a point in Flames of War, particularly where you kind of, and I equate it to the Matrix, where it's like you stop seeing the zeros and ones, and all you see is blonde, redhead, brunette. You can kind of see the game in a different way because you're not hyper focused on the fundamentals, because you've got the fundamentals under your belt. If that makes sense, and you and that really is the difference between top tier players and the ones who are, top third. That top 5% will be able to just think of, okay, I need to assault here, and get all the fundamentals in place, and be able to check themselves if they haven't managed to do that. They'll be able to get the smoke, get the pin, get the models aligned in the right place, and then synergize it with something else on the other side so that they've got a plan B if it doesn't go right, and get that last, 10 yards across the line, to take an American football term. Because the games previously, in my experience, I got all the way up there and I could get to within sight of the finishing line, but that's when it would fall apart. That's when, I take too many casualties in that platoon and that company's broken, or I didn't unpin over there, and I really needed that particular bit. I didn't have a plan B. It was all Hail Mary plays, which leads to really fun games, but not the wins and the points that you need to get the trophies. So it depends where you go into it, and some, as well, it's your opponent. You can do entire tournaments where you come up against people and you end up just either playing to their level or being put off by them. QT, what you got?
I just want to make sure I'm interpreting you correctly. So, if I'm a top 5% player, 21st Panzer's not horrible. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's just
Just-
expensive.
Just checking.
Well, yeah, financially.
Yeah, I don't think.
Well, no, it's expensive points wise. Because the 250,
13 points a unit.
Yeah, but the 250 half tracks are the same cost, but they're better. Because the French one's got a worse cross and they're slower. Because that was the funny thing I had against Lee, was I was trying to rush into an objective. He had some paras in the open and I couldn't get there fast enough.
I was out racing.
He had paras in the open, so why were you racing anywhere?
It's historically
and shot him.
It was night. It was night, to be fair.
Oh, I'd have still tried to shoot you.
He did. He missed.
It's historically suboptimal, is what I'd say, in that you're trading off the history for
effectiveness
on the table.
Okay, that's fair.
It depends on how you want to play as well. What you're playing, because Duncan and I play a fair bit, and we tend to like to play something that looks historic.
Yeah, that vaguely might have existed.
Might vaguely have been realistic. Whereas sometimes with tournament play, you see a lot of things that are skewed in some way.
What do you mean by M10s and crocodile list?
Well, yeah.
What was your Dutch partisans or whatever it is?
And AVREs and it's the FFP and the FTP together.
That's it.
We won't mention the 40 points of Volkstrom. That our beloved leader has painted.
God asked this, yes.
Assaulting,
yeah. Just and things like that. So, but it does. It just comes down to what you want to play. I play with what I want to play with. I don't really follow the meta. I don't chase a meta. I just play, and to me, that's what it's all about. If I play and I'm enjoying it, I'll play well. If I'm playing and I'm not enjoying it, I'll play badly. There's no difference. So I would say play with things you enjoy is much more important than playing with things you think are going to be good.
That's why I did comments.
I'm gonna counterbalance that thought process, because I think.
You've assumed I have a thought process.
Well, that's the thing. I know how good you are, Martin, and that's the problem. You downplay how great a player you are, who's able to do these
I seem
particularly
to recall
unique
you win
things.
more often than I do.
That's the thing, because I've balanced off the play with what you want to play with, and you'll notice I've stopped taking Yag Tiger lists.
Yeah, true.
And because it's been a conscious effort, and it is always a conscious effort to kind of go, I really want to have that particular unit in my army, but I know it doesn't really work. And then I end up writing a list, and then by the time I get to the end of it, having gone through with a competitive mindset for a tournament, because I've been stuck in this eternal second and third place loop for the last 2 years, and I want to get the big W. It's been really hard to kind of push that last little bit of just going, you know what, murder your children. Is it murder your children? What's the writer's thing?
Murder your darlings.
Murder your darlings.
Murder your children.
Murder your children.
That's something that.
That's actually an Italian horror movie. There's an obscure comment there. It's a really good film, by the way. Just to drop that in.
Yeah, banned by a British classification board for about 20 years. That was
Oh my God.
There is. I'd say I would love a 21st Panzer list. I think it is a fantastic historical list for a particular time for that historical games, because we do play a historical game, and there's nothing wrong with that. But taking it to a tournament, I would not expect amazing results.
Uphill battle.
However, that said, Warfare 2024 will be awarding 1 point extra point if you bring a list from the D-Day books, and 21st Panzer will definitely fit that bill.
It's not in the D-Day books.
No, I know, but it's 2020 but D-Day themed as well. So if you were to take the what's the D-Day, the Yag Panther list that got missed?
Do I get a point?
That's some Bagration, but
yes.
yeah.
But
no, Bulge. It's from Bulge.
Bulge, exactly.
We were saying, but it should be allowed for. But
yeah, it'll be allowed as long as you don't take any Bulge units, like Bulge era units. There's a conversation to be had. It's not just a hard book limit; it's a historical limit. So if you write to me and say, "I really want one run Yag Panthers," and then you've got the support units which are historically accurate, fantastic. Do that. You'll still get the extra bonus point for making it a D-Day tournament.
So I can bring my H39s.
Yes.
What ones are they?
That's where Duncan was using his Romanians to proxy for the Butte Pan's training platoon.
The 100th Panzer.
That 482nd Airborne at Cherbourg area.
That's
12 points. Is that the army that can't actually move fast enough to actually get from the reserves point to the objective?
That's the army where the German paratroopers outran them down the road.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, got run over by my Panzer IIIs. I seem to recall.
Oh, they're 84 in late war.
Oh my God.
It was cracking.
They're machine gun carriers. They're awesome.
Yeah.
I've hit your half track in the side. Oh, you've saved. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. Harry, what's on your painting table?
Whirlwinds and Yag Tigers, just for the fun.
Whirlwinds.
Whirlwinds?
Fwee Wadwick with his Whirlwinds.
That sounds like an Eddie table.
It's a fun table right now.
It's a great table. It's a 12.8 centimetre table. That's what that is.
So, Harry, Whirlwinds or Ostwinds or mobile wagons?
Well, I'm in the process of magnets everywhere. So I have all the options at the moment.
Yeah, but what does your gut tell you? Because I know what Lee's gut tells him, and I know what Eddie's gut tells him.
One barrel.
Well, I always thought War Barrel was better, but I've only ever seen Whirlwinds on the table, and I still enjoy them. So probably Whirlwinds are going to end up on the table. I've got the flak bus, the ones with the 3.7s from eBay, the trucks. So that would be the mixture.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
One barrel. See,
so the great thing about magnetizing that is if you ever want to play a 1945 game, you can just put magnets on a big, like mouse hole, put all the turrets in the box and shake it, And then you'll have a 1945 paper Panzer. Oh, yes, this makes total sense. Let's have 15 verbal wind turrets and an Ostwind on the front, and this drain pipe to represent the Graf Spee naval turret that we've just put on there as well.
You could put them. They could put them on buildings though, couldn't you? If you're magnetising them and do like flak nests.
That'd
work.
They didn't tend to have gun shields.
Those are great models. I'm sad I don't have any of those.
Yeah.
Oh, the ones in the buildings. Yeah,
The
they came out with their Stalin's Europe.
Yeah, they were cool. I've seen somebody post
maybe early that, maybe Parish books.
Somebody put them on the Facebook group, painted up.
Blackness.
That was Panzer Shield the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look good, didn't they?
Yeah, I need to get into the what was I? I need to get some of the street barricades as well.
They were cool with the trams.
Apparently.
Yeah. Are they?
They re-released. Yeah, they reprinted them. So I need to, but direct only. So they're going to be really expensive, but they're going to be really cool. Or
they're going to be one of those things. Yeah.
Pleading email to Frontline Terrain. Could you please print me everything from my board? So,
Whirlwind or Ostwind, did he?
Personally, it depends what you're trying to defend against. If you want aircraft, it's Ostwinds because of the extra firepower. If it's against infantry, it's Whirlwinds all the way.
Yeah, those Ostwinds can also deal with like Stuarts and that, and half tracks and other things. They're quite fun with that.
It's also
Tank 7,
which front are you playing on? Because Ost is the east front only. Mr. Everest.
Where's the Werbel?
Where's the Werbel? The Werbel has been replaced by an Ost. It's been Osted. It's had an Osted inspection.
Oh God. Oh my God, it's getting worse.
Yeah, I know. I've only 2 runs in as well. That's the great thing. Mr. Everest. Hashtag the barn.
So my question is, this was on Discord. So a lot of us play aircraft as you're paying for the effect. So with that in mind, what kind of cool aircraft do you guys like to use in Flames of War, Team Yankee, EFO, and NAM instead of the usual one that you can get hold of? So for example, I run A6 Intruders as Harrier jump jets, but you guys, does anybody else like use cool aircraft instead of their boring raw counterparts?
I have a little story to do with this. In that when Team Yankee first released, I thought exactly that. So I have Academy 144 scale plastic model kits of F-14A Tomcats, Jaguars, Hunters.
Jaguars.
Yes. It's a fancy Jaguar. Jaguar en foire. Hunters. Also, said the time, Hornets. Crusaders.
Oh my God.
Because I came in, this is because they released a couple of years, Team Yankee first came out. It's quite an old game now, technically. And I managed to get a super duper deal on these Academy kits, and they were all about £1.50 each. So I bought a box full. I was like, yes. Oh, and tornadoes. I was like, yes, plastic tornadoes. This is amazing. This is great. And the confession I have is, as of today, I have no idea where that box is. It is somewhere. I put them all in a single box, and that box exists. It could be in this house. It could be in the Guildford garage. It could be in the garage here. I do not know. I haven't seen it in about 20 months. At one point, I will find that box and go, oh, excellent. I've now got these models again.
What will you do with them?
Look at them and put them back on the shelf with a clear label on the side of the box going, aircraft for Team Yankee. No. Team Yankee are great. Aircraft in Team Yankee are fantastic. It's just whether or not you can take the appropriate defenses against them with other forces. But no. Love a spay cat, Jag.
I
Also,
think the only
if
one
you,
I've got. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to.
I was looking at printing 1/100 scale aardvarks, and this was ridiculous.
Well, the aircraft. So that's the thing. So the helicopters are 1/100 scale, but the aircraft are 1/44 because they are so big. It would be cool to have a Vulcan in 1/100 scale as a crash wreckage, aka Thunderball event. But I was looking at doing. I can't remember now. Hunters. I said hunters. I've got hunters. I'll shut up. Duncan.
Those are the only ones I've got for my Iranians. I think I've got Mirages. Are they Mirages, Lee?
That sounds about right. I did mute Lee when he left, so he's currently talking
mute.
to himself.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I think it's quite.
I was about to
comical.
message him, but then he started talking.
Thanks.
I think they're Mirages, aren't they?
I thought they're phantoms. They're Iranians, aren't they?
Phantoms.
Phantoms are tiger sharks.
That's what I've got in the box. Not hunters, phantoms.
God.
For now.
But, yeah, the phantoms are for instead of the
Su-25s, because it's that weird thing with their line with the Russians. Yeah.
But Mark kindly printed them off for me, but they've got a massive fuel tank underneath. And I haven't worked out a way of taking that fuel tank off a 3D printed model to put a rod in to actually make it flyable. So I've got 6 of them, I think.
Oh, I see, to mount it up. Yeah. Can you just put a magnet on the fuel tank and just put the fuel tank on?
No, it's round, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. Just put a bit of green stuff either side to keep it in place afterwards.
I suppose I could. Well, maybe that's an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I've got, I think.
So I haven't got anything at the moment, but I was thinking if I ever get around doing the Norwegians like I was planning, I'd probably get some F-16 models and use them as stand-in for Vigans with Mavericks.
Oh, F-16s.
The sexy Vigan? You're going to replace the sexy Vigan?
And see, this is the thing. I love Saab aircraft, but the Vigan is my least favourite Saab aircraft.
You wash your mouth out.
But look, for Draken's lovely. For Vigan's okay. The gripping is lovely. It's the problem is the Vigan, it's built like a Phantom. The Vigan's just got that weird 1970s aesthetic where it's just the big afterburner cans, that oversized, flying surfaces. It's just very ungainly looking. And the Phantom's the same. It's a class. I can appreciate it, but I don't love it.
Be unwanted.
The thing I love about the Phantom as well is physically how large an aircraft that thing is, because it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever see one in real life, how small the cockpit is. It's
very cramped, yes.
It's extremely small. For such a huge aeroplane, they're like, should we give him enough room to breathe? No, don't worry about that. Just jam more electronics in there. We need more valves.
More punk cyber.
Cyberpunk. Okay. Darren, what is on your painting table, buddy?
I have a secret project, which I will only announce later this year, that I have been researching for the last month or so. But the project that is actually on the table in terms of painting is a force very similar to Mr. Taylor's, which is a unit from the 7th Brigade. So his unit is from the 9th Brigade. Mine's from the 7th Brigade of the 3rd Canadian Division, which landed at D-Day as well, which I am really hoping to be able to bring with me when I come in June.
Excellent.
That's going to be amazing. Was Canada at D-Day? I mean, was Britain at D-Day? I thought it was just the Americans, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just the Americans.
I thought there was, from my understanding of D-Day from Hollywood, is Tom Hanks and MG-42s, and that was it. There's nothing else.
No, that's correct.
Nah, virtually nothing else, no.
And Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Very young Sean Connery.
Yeah.
In The Longest Day, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I found out recently, Tasty's actually watched, which I was impressed.
What, without you?
Yeah, before. In the before times, the BE years, the before Edward years. No, she's watched The Longest Day just as a movie, and I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. She could remember a couple of scenes, namely the paratrooper with his boots on backwards. She didn't realise it was John Wayne that was there. It's quite interesting. Yeah. It's okay, cool. So we're looking forward. We have a list of movies that we're re-watching. So we've done Band of Brothers.
That's not a movie, Eddie.
Well, well, it is. It's just nine movies in a row.
Or as I like to call it, television.
Yes, but it's quite fun because I can see that it's about going and finding more movies with actors that she knows from other things that then she gets all excited about. So watching Memphis Belle was spot on because she's like, that's Sean Astin. Is it Freddie something Jr.? Freddie Koenig Jr. Freddie Koenig Jr. Quinton, yeah.
Sorry, Memphis Belle was my favorite third date movie because the girls were so bored with the movie.
Harry Connick Jr.
It's a winner, just so you know.
Thanks, Mike. Harry Connick Jr.
So, oh dear. So there you go, Eddie. There's definitely one to put on the list.
Yeah, we've watched it. That's the thing. That's done. That's done. And I'm kind of building up to the next one. But obviously, Masters of the Air is coming out end of January, which is the next version.
That's good.
Masters of the Air. Is that with Skeletor?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Hey, Eddie, does that mean you're going to watch Red Tails again?
Can you give it a woo?
What I don't understand, I wanted Red Tails to be so good, and it had so much potential, but I don't understand how in that movie world, the German war machine failed due to lack of resources, and yet they still had enough petrol to put it in every single structure on an airfield, including the wooden control tower. There is a scene where a P-51 flies across an airfield, strafes the wood log control tower, and it explodes in a fireball 40, 50 feet high. It's like, come on. Why? It's wooden. It's a wooden building. What have they got up there other than the entirety of their fuel ration?
Michael Bay this shit.
It was. And then taking out a battleship with 50 cows as well through the decks. Yeah, that works. That's totally what happened.
What was it HMS Hood?
Too soon. Too soon.
Eddie, now you understand my pain every single time I watch any movie that requires somebody to fire weapons, because I have learned how to count rounds, and I'm like, nope, they need to change the magazines. And I'm like, they just went over the number of rounds in that magazine.
I love Top Gun Maverick, but the one thing I can never get past is the sound it makes on the cannons when the Vulcan's firing on the F-14 at the end. It just makes this weird like Hollywood machine gun noise rather than the brrrt kind of like, yeah.
But also, oh yes, we have HOTAS, hand on throttle and stick. All the buttons you need are right there. But obviously the chaff dispenser's this big red plunger button.
Apart from later on the F-14 when they do it properly, it's like I can't understand why they put that big red button thing in the cockpit.
It's like this massive like emergency cut-off switch for a flipping workshop. It's like
that was so bizarre.
Firing flares. I think it would have been better if it was historically accurate in that as soon as they got the wheels up on the F-14 Tomcat, had a double engine flame out and just crashed into the hillside. That's it. Okay, movie over. Job done.
Yep. Because there's an Iranian F-14.
This is why you don't get an Iranian F-14 after all of these years and try to take off from a taxiway, boys.
Mm-hmm. But it was on point the ejector seat didn't work and one of the sidewinders didn't actually guide on. So I did like the fact they put that in.
Yeah. No, I need to rewatch that. It's a good film.
Has it got any oiled up male torsos?
Unfortunately, it's a little bit more.
More planes.
Yeah. Duncan only watches Top Gun for the blatant homosexuality.
Absolutely.
The sexual tension you can cut for a night between Iceman and Maverick, yes.
Yeah.
So I think Top Gun is so unique in the sexual tension. You can't cut it with a knife. The sexual tension cuts the knife.
Yeah. And then you got the third wheel of Goose. Just
I'm married. Oh,
can I play too? No, you can't, Goose. Go away. Oh.
You can be mowing men anytime. Oh dear.
Oh, we have an update from
Yes, I've seen.
Daryl about the the Panda Shrek. What's it called? The Panda Bootwagon.
It's got a brilliantly written backstory.
Panzer Schwimmwagen.
Klein Panzer Schwimmwagen. This vehicle was the imaginative idea of a Panda Shrek gunner by the name of Bruce Gosling. He was tired of having to lug his launcher across the battlefield. He spoke to his commander about his idea, was given the go-ahead. But instead of getting armoured vehicles for his project, the motor transport officer gave him 3 worn-out Schwimmwagens to use. His anger was channeled into making these vehicles combat effective.
Well, it's failed miserably.
Yeah. Shortly after they were completed, they were instrumental in defeating an attack by Soviet forces. During the attack, Bruce drove his vehicle with reckless abandon, getting into the rear of T-34s before firing the weapon at close range. He was credited with destroying 3 T-34s, to include one which was in the process of driving over the empty officer's Kubelwagen. The explosion from the Panzerschreck warhead both set off the T-34's ammunition and immolated the MT officer.
So there we go. So if I kill more than 4 T-34s with it,
you are historically accurate.
That's historically accurate, yeah.
As Darren's just pointed out, in case people have forgotten, Bruce is Duncan's new name after the other Duncan became a patron.
The other Duncan? That's disgusting.
Two coats Duncan.
Yeah, is the other Duncan. He's the other Duncan. I'm the original Duncan. I'm sure that's how it
his
works.
followers both differ, but yes. It's
yeah.
Well, how old is he? I was
you
here
have your
first.
own paint range?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. It's not for public consumption.
Too much cadmium content.
Yeah.
Too much. Have we got any more questions from the floor?
Or from people?
No? Try to think who have we got left. Chris, I don't think I've asked you what you're painting yet.
I am currently painting my West Germans for Team Yankee, especially my M113 OP.
The best
Which
German.
I love that you 3D sculpted that entire new top plate for it and looks awesome. So.
Yeah, thanks. But I found out after scrolling through the Battlefront page that Team Yankee, Rob, I don't know, it's like a post from them that he also had one in his army, so he did it before it was cool. I guess.
True
hobby
hipster.
You're just a copycat now. It's game over, man.
Yeah.
Just
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
It's like when Hollywood. It's like when Hollywood releases 2 films with the same thing at the same time. It's just like, oh,
yeah, like Raiden Dread. So I just tried to trick a mic there.
Oh, it's not the same film. Not the same film. Yeah, and Mr. Turner, I think we haven't asked you what you're painting. He's thinking about it. Oh, he was miles away.
Yeah, he's having a Mars bar.
He's doing a live action reenactment of me in every meeting I've ever sat in ever.
Is that some like 10mm Romans Celts?
6mm Romans.
6mm Romans Celts. It could be anything at 6mm.
It's historically accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They were shorter.
Yeah, we need to play those down at the GGC.
Are you still playing what do you call it? Oh my god, I've had a brain. The old Games Workshop rules.
Warmaster.
Stuff. Warmaster, that's it.
So yeah, Warmaster's a great game.
I mean, it's a game, yeah.
It is a great game. So I must admit, and having had Mr. Everest join the world of resin printers, I'll put my hands up and say a proud hobby achievement is that I do not own a 3D printer, which I think is a fantastic level of self-control, especially seeing what is happening to my gaming compatriots and the games that they are playing. at Guildford Games Club. The 20th of January, I want to say, is 120 years since the Battle of Isandlwana. Is that about right?
Probably, yeah.
It's saying, yep.
I think Mike's looking it up.
Mike's
Isandlwana, as in Zulu. Isandlwana.
as in Zulu. 20th of Jan, yeah. So
1869, yeah.
We have a couple of reenactors at the Guildford Games Club. One of which has, James Dixie. He's a fantastic guy who runs the Guilders Forward Radio. Isandlwanuka. Mike, you got to pronounce that. You can't just. You got a microphone, bud. Come on. Rorkestrifmus.
It's the national holiday of Rorkestrifmus and Isandlwanuka.
Isandlwanuka. I was like, oh wow, I was working really hard on my pronunciation. I thought I got it wrong. I thought Mike was being
Please don't, because your pronunciation upon all other languages, and including English, is appalling.
What's wrong with Bisagulary?
Bisagulary?
Bisagli.
Do you want your Bisagulary with Parmesan, huh?
Hey, Giuseppe, you got any more of those Bisagulary at the back?
And cancelled.
Yeah.
So the long arc of this is at the Guildford Games Club. We are now having a reenactment of the Battle of Isandlwana in 6mm, and apparently they've printed over 400 Zulus already and going, and with contrast paints. They
what, 6mm?
Yep, and they're really good sculpts as well. They're really beautiful models. But they come out on the bases, and with contrast paints, half of them are already painted. It's incredible, the scale of stuff. We obviously have Paul Townsend, who 3D printed an entire 28mm Minas Tirith for Lord of the Rings, and then saw that someone had taken the files and scaled them down to 10mm, and is now halfway through reprinting the entire thing in 10mm to play War Master Lord of the Rings. I mean, he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. It's and they look amazing, and it's just like, I'm so glad, because I know resin's carcinogenic, and I will probably be drinking the stuff by this point because, it's.
I mean, is it carcinogenic?
Oh, it's terrible.
Really?
Dixie actually gave himself he became allergic to it through exposure. Because he was like, oh, I know I should be wearing gloves, but this is fine. It's the hobby, right? You just do what you do with all these solvents and things. And then he was like, why are my hands all scabby and falling apart and really bad? And then he realised it was because he'd exposed himself to the resin too many times. So there's a warning for you folks. Just
get it done in China. Like, you don't have to worry about them, right?
Yeah, that's why the best 3D printer is One Your Friend Zone, right?
Yeah. Is that his name? One Your Friend Zone?
Friend Zone.
Yeah.
No. Excellent. Looking forward to that. That's going to be really good.
Oh.
But we'll see. Should really paint some stuff.
Oh god, we should just get that as a soundbite, because you just play that over and over again.
And what do you think about Fez? I should really paint some stuff.
Yeah.
Chris has something to say. So, Chris, go ahead.
What are you guys currently painting?
Ooh,
good question.
No, you don't get to ask questions. Next question.
No, I'm. Well, what has changed? Because we've recorded part 1 already, where we were talking about what we were painting last week and a bit ago. But what's painted now is the Mantic. My beautiful, amazing wife, for my advent calendar, got me the Mantic Barroom Brawl, which is a fantastic idea. It's an advent calendar that is a board game with miniatures that each day you open up and you get a new component for the board game. So like you open it and it's a dwarven fighter with a Santa hat on. And the next day you open it up, there's the dice, and then there's the tokens. And the lid of the advent calendar is the board, and essentially the last day is the rules. So I haven't read the rules yet because there's spoilers about what you're going to get, so it makes sense. But at the end of it, you'll have a board game where you're trying to go, I think it's like the old Bugman's Brewery game, where you're at your table when you're trying to get food and get back to your table whilst fighting your opponent to make sure they don't get their meal first.
I remember that game, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a version of that, but mantified. So Ronnie from Mantic Games has done his own version, but as an advent calendar.
So we once again taken something GW already done and put their own spin on it.
And made it better, yeah. So I am. That's the next thing on my painting table because we have mince pies and miniatures, which is the Guildford Club is a Christmas Eve party of board gaming and miniatures. Hoping to play it there, but painted. So that's my aim.
Look, what are you painting?
I'm just assembling. I've got a what's it called? Star Wars Legion army that I've got to get together. So I'm mostly assembling that at the moment,
Okay.
which is it's harder than it looks. They're really annoying little sculpts. So they all come together, but they don't come with any instructions in the book.
Oh,
in the box. Sorry, you have to go online and find the instructions, and then it's for each individual model. There is only one way it goes together, and you have to then hunt down the parts for that model on the sprues. Which I find I'm not good at assembling stuff anyway, and I find it crushing. But then the models are incredible, right? It's almost like Games Workshop level. Like that guy, just one little dude for your commander is like 16 quid because it comes with a bucket load of cardboard bits with it.
And custom dice because it's ex Fantasy Flight Games.
No, it doesn't. You don't get the dice or anything. You just get the
But
cards.
You have to have custom dice, right? They've got to have custom dice. Otherwise, it's not Fantasy
Of
Flight
course they
Games.
do. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Custom dice.
Custom
But I
dice.
mean, it's quite a good game. It's scratching this Star Wars itch, and I've got Bosk. I just put together, but it's also really annoying because some of the models are plastic and some of them are like the Sinocast. So some of them you can stick together with poly cement, and then other ones you go, I need some super glue.
It's like a mixed medium.
Yeah, I think they must have changed how they were producing it. But yeah, that's what I'm putting together. I'm in assembly mode again.
cool.
Trying to build some stuff up, and then I don't know what to paint first. I need to have I need to consult the painting template ready for the new year. Oh, I can give you an update on that actually. While we're here, what I painted this year because it was a bit of a slow end to the year, but I think it was quite productive overall. If I
every
get
year
to
you
the
have is
sheets,
productive.
Hmm?
Every year you have is far more productive than in my years. So.
Let's have a look.
Do you remember in January last year I did all those orcs, Lord of the Rings? I started the year off really well and painted like 40 models. I was like, yeah.
And what happened?
But it went to hell from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how much has been done? So there's 217 teams painted.
What?
217?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
And then how many points is that? That's 524 points.
What's the frontage of a Flames of War base? Is it 5 centimeters?
Inch and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
An inch and a half.
I think so.
Yeah, but some of those are like tanks and stuff. Don't forget, I painted.
Oh, it's not 217 infantry teams.
No, it's just teams in general. I could probably work out what tank and AFE versus. I've got tank, AFE, gun, and infantry. All
well, if it
listed,
was
so
infantry teams, that's 27 feet worth of frontage of infantry teams.
Well, don't forget, at the start of the year, like, I painted that German Jaeger force on a whim that I've got. I think I played once with.
I don't think you paint entire forces on a whim. I can't even paint half a model on a whim.
Well, yeah, I kind of decided to do it, and then I went, oh, these aren't very good. These Jag cannons, these cannon Jag panzers are awful.
They are awful.
We tried to tell you that.
I know. And then I painted up that entire Hungarian army.
Hungarian army, yep.
So that was all done. Oh yes, it's in the storage locker, Chris. I've had to invest in a storage locker like Eddie now.
Come to the dark side.
Yeah. It's in the vault.
Store your model isn't an off-site location.
Well, it's quite funny because one of my friends is getting back into in Crawley, and he's trying to put together a template of the stuff that we've got as a collective, and he said, "Can you list down the forces you've got for Flames of War?" And I went, "Oh, I can." And he went, "Okay, and which ones of these are painted?" I went, "Oh no, that's the painted ones. I can list you the other stuff as well if you want." You know. I've got that I think actually I might give the desert a go again because I've got that M3 Lee force I was going to do for Lee's Dak force.
But it'd be quicker to list the things you haven't painted, right? Like I don't have this and I don't have that.
There was a bit of that because he was like, "Oh, how many Panzer IVs you got?" I don't know, some enough. Company.
Well, how many battalions?
I haven't got the Lee. I've got the whole of 3 RTR in every period. Yeah, maybe the Hermann Goering. I've still got some Nimrods to paint to make the 4th Nimrod company, and I've got all
some Passage to paint. To be fair,
I've got 5. I've only got 5 left in the Passage to paint.
5 what? What's the unit here? 5 teams.
5 companies. which rounds it out nicely at I think that's 13 companies then of Passage.
Yeah.
It's either 5 or 6. I can't remember. I've lost track.
It's a lot of people, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Lee, what's your painting update?
I am having a bit of a headache right now with the airbrush. I'm trying to get the M113s done for the Anzacs. Haven't got the lavs all done, so switch to the M113s. Try and get the mortar carriers and the manpad carriers done, and try and paint the interior. I sort of primed them, and now try and paint the interior. For some reason, the airbrush now is just refusing to run paint through it. Both greens are very clumpy. I've been trying to filter them because I think the clumps are.
Have you got a filter?
Yeah, I got a filter. So I've been trying to run it through a filter. I think Martin gave me the filter very kindly ages ago. So I'm trying to filter it out, try and get the clumps out.
I mean, there's a point where I just give up and buy a new bottle.
I think I'm getting to that point. Yes.
Yeah, it's unfortunately. I think most of my paints are like that. It's got to the point where they've just sat there for so long for the airbrush. It's like I'm better off buying a new set.
You need one of those little shakers.
No, I've got a shaker.
I've got a shaker.
I've got a mixer, but literally the paint has dried and there's clumps in it, which is fine for brush painting, but airbrushing, forget it.
Yeah.
Like the second you get
put a ball bearing in it.
Even then, it won't break up.
It's just
because it's a microscopic level atomization of paint you need to have happen. If your paint is slightly dodgy, it's a variable you can't really control. You can mitigate to a point, but you can't control it, and it's enough to just stop it working. And then
basically, it's like sausage coming up my nozzle. The thing is,
there goes the clean rating. Jeez.
It's like a Play-Doh thing. I'm pressing the Play-Doh down, and there's just like this big thing of paint coming out the end of it. It's a laying cable.
If it's that bad, I mean, mine normally just stops, and I have to, up the pressure and put it out.
Yeah, so I try up the pressure. It was just firmly clogged. That's a problem I think I've got at the moment. So I might have to just go buy another bottle. But
yeah.
Prostate issue, thanks. Yeah. Getting to that age.
Yeah. Well, you have to check if your donut's still a donut, right?
Yeah.
It's not turned into a potato.
Darren say, just put in your GW water pot. That causes it doesn't eddy. Yes.
The GW water pot is actually upstairs at the moment. I was just about to grab it and show it off. Unfortunately, it's doing all right. Do you know what I will say about the GW water pot though?
Oh my god!
In all seriousness, I've never drunk the paint water out of it. Just saying. All the people who use mugs. There's 2 types of people when they use a painting mug for painting water: those who are drunk out of the painting water, and those who will.
Yeah, so just seeing Quentin's holding up his GW painting mug.
Oh my god!
Yeah, although I must admit, it hasn't stopped me licking my brushes. That habit
what about you painting? Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Do we have any more questions, or should we move on to events?
I think we move on to events, yeah.
We move on to events. Excellent. So, oh my gosh, next year is looking amazing already. The 20th of January, he says, thinking that I've bought a ticket. Guys, have you bought tickets?
I need to buy my ticket.
What's that for?
Is this a confirmation?
Team Yankee one-dayer.
Team Yankee one-dayer showdown of steel.
I think we're practicing tomorrow night.
At TTR High Wycombe, 95 points, Team Yankee. Are you going?
Well, yeah, I was trying to buy a ticket and so was Luke, but we couldn't find it on the site. You were going to send me a link.
I'll send you the link to me.
That's
Yeah, I've got
correct.
it.
I will find you the link and
It's
send
on
you the
Discord.
link.
If you go to
Is
Discord, it's on there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
find it there.
February the 3rd and 4th is Co-Rivalry. Flames of War Late War, 100 points with a 40-point swap at Betterfield Hobbies in Daventry. I am booked up, signed up, going to that. Hopefully you
What are you
guys can make
taking?
it. Probably Brits.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to lean heavy. So last year I got mullered by people having this swap because I was just doing it in the old school, like, oh, I'll just swap a little bit for the missions. And other people lent heavily into it with their absolute meta. And for 40 points, you can completely change the formation you're in. So I'm thinking about doing that and just being like, oh, because for late war now, it's like, oh, you've got Berlin infantry. I need my salvo templates and things with flamethrowers. Or, oh, you've got tanks. I need my tank hunters and all those things. So I'm thinking about maybe mixing up with that and having one laser focused lists and being metagamery. I just need to win something, for the love of God.
Well, this is it. Maybe you're just going to chase
like,
that.
I'm chasing
the real
dragon,
treasures
man.
are friends we make along the way.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for years. They're all my friends. They'll forgive me this one.
We're going to start calling you Icarus.
It's like, yeah. I believe I can fly.
Yeah. I nearly won. Oh, no. I've fallen down and hurt myself.
Yeah. So I just need, we'll see. So that's February the 3rd and 4th at Battlefield Hobbies. Icelandic Nationals is February 17th, but I think that's already sold out and long gone, unfortunately. Oh, maybe next year. March 9th, Tabletop Republic, High Wycombe. Berlin awaits. Flames of War, Late War, 110 points. One day. That'd be interesting.
110.
110.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points on not a big board.
Yeah.
8th and 9th of June 2024 is the Barn Bash 80th Day Patron event. Whoop, 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 whoop. So excited for that. Been getting all of my shiznies together. He says 20th of July, again at Tabletop Republic, No Borders, Flames of War, Late War, 100 points, Fortress Europe lists only.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. That's a bit tasty.
Well, Martin's got his hand like that and nodding at the same time.
Ooh, oh, you've got eyebrow raise. Ooh. Oh, breaking news as well. Into the Fire, a World War III Team Yankee tournament, 95 points at Tabletop Republic on the 20th of April.
Mm-hmm.
Let me cut and paste
Is that Billy Joel?
It's just popped up on Discord this evening, so you might have
caught has it
before we started.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's because I did this at the beginning of the last recording of the episode.
So we'll see how the January one goes. We might get to that one as well.
Yeah, if we win it.
Have the N6 done by then.
French Canadians.
It's about freedom.
Mike might be coming to us. Can't take it long for the January one, Mike. It's 20th January as well. So.
Party bus. Come on.
Hold on. Mike's playing at a tournament.
I know. I'm as shocked as you are.
It'd be funny because
the last one I remember Mike doing.
Terrible idea, and I'll only play once, and I'll play it, and I'll put the end of it, and we'll drive home in absolute silence. And we'll go, how we go? Yes, fine, mate.
That's not how we do tournaments.
I'm not playing Team Yankee anymore.
Whereas you throw your army out the window.
ETR Congo, just so that's it.
You drive home with the McDonald's drive-through milkshake. That's the tradition. You have to do that.
Yes, back from Warfare was try to find a drive-through that's open.
4 different drive-throughs we went to trying to find a poxy.
But damn it, we got our milkshake.
We got it in the end. Damn it! Took us an extra hour, but we got it in the end. The things we do for traditions. 24th of October, again at Tabletop Republic. It's almost like they're the only ones who've listed all the tournaments in our thing. Steel versus Steel, Team Yankee, 115 points. Oh God. Of Team Yankee. The 28th and 29th of September is the Flames of War UK Nationals, which is the Late War Battlefield Hobbies Daventry, which, that's just tasty. Late War. I don't think we've got a points limit just yet, but that's going to be cutthroat competition of the highest level.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right because I'm in Anzio.
We're actually in Anzio.
That weekend, yeah.
Don't. There's no pressure. I'll
What are you doing in Anzio?
I'm going on a tour.
Nice. You storming the beaches.
Well,
beach holiday. Yes,
going to have a look at the beach.
Go look at underpasses and stuff. Yes.
And then the big one, November 16th and 17th, Warfare, run by yours truly at the Farnborough, the Reading War Game Show, which is hosted in Farnborough. Yeah, I know, it's confusing. Which will be Flames of War. At the moment, haven't confirmed it yet. Nothing's solidified, but it's most likely going to be 80 points, D-Day themed. So the concept here is it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day, so 80 points, smaller games. It'll be 5 games again, so 3 on the Saturday, 2 on the Sunday, with red versus blue list swap. What? So you have a primary list that you take, either Axis or Allies. That is your list. You can have a secondary one of the opposite alignment, as it were, to enable all games to be red versus blue. If you do that, if you bring 2 lists, you gain, at the start of the tournament, 1 Flames of War victory point. Booth on the board before you do anything else. And because it's D-Day, if you take both your lists from D-Day or D-Day appropriate forces, you get an additional point. So before game 1, you can score 2 points and therefore be better than some of my tournament scores without even playing, without even rolling a dice. The terrain is, I'm going to work very hard to make the terrain very thematic and very fun, but they will still be a flat tournament. So they won't be like the D-Day beach assault missions, because I think they're a little too swingy to have in a D-Day in a tournament. So I'm going to turn Warfare hopefully into a themed fun tournament, which is the gem, the jewel in the Flames of War tournament crown, because if you're going to run something, you might as well make it the best thing there is. Mm-hmm. So the tournament games will be fair, be fun, be hard fighting, and super duper fun with amazing terrain. Hopefully, that's the plan, but balanced as well. And you will have to come. Every single person who hears this has to come and buy all their tickets. And
I just did. literally ruining our clean rating at the last minute, Mr. Barnell. Thank you very much. And that is November the 16th and 17th of 2024, next year.
Oh my God.
And that's what I've got on my list so far, which I'm looking forward to elongating for now. I think it's time for the 100th Shoot and Scoot.
I mean, we've got to say thanks to all the patrons for backing us on this one. We have reached episode 100 at long last. Got there.
Yeah, and thanks to all of our listeners as well. Even if you aren't a patron, it's a special doubly uber thanks to the patrons, because you've literally put your money where your mouth is, which means
got some nice shiny mics, which
means a lot. Mic Everest isn't that shiny. Oh, I see what you mean. Microphones, right? Sorry. Yeah, with multiple mics and microphones, and hats. As what Everest is now derailing the entire podcast by putting on a phenomenal hat of which I have no description.
That's actually leaned back in the
Is that
shot.
A literal grognard hat?
It's a Shaco.
It's a Shaco. He's got a string underneath. He's now doing up. Mike, tell me, what hat are you wearing, please?
It's a French 45th Envolée de Ligne. It's a French Shaco from Waterloo. It's still more authentic than Ridley Scott.
How do you feel?
I'm wearing a 49ers jumper. I'm still more authentic than Ridley Scott.
Well, your hat says 45, so it's an instant mismatch between units there. Mike, how do you feel now that you've won the war?
The best. No one has hats like me. So.
Sounds like a challenge, yeah.
Yes, so Shoot and Scoot for the 100th time.
We've got to be veteran at this point,
Darren's
right?
got to give us some stats on this, because
Darren,
surely.
Oh, you got the Darren. Darren, have you got the stats that we can ruin our?
Using a break for assault dice. So.
Yeah, but I have to break it to you. This will be the 98th attempt, because there were a couple times early on But you failed to actually do that
That's all
as
wrong. That's
part
it.
of this. So it is only
That's why he's
the
the
98.
archivist. He
I've
knows
got to
his stuff.
say, that makes me infinitely prouder of the podcast, because that is entirely commensurate with the amount of effort that we put into this thing.
Or thought, yeah.
Or thought. The 98th. Oh, well,
I can tell you specifically which episodes you didn't shoot and
Okay,
scoot
yes,
on if
please.
you'd like.
Oh,
3
13.
and 13.
That feels appropriate.
Yeah.
13 was unlucky anyways, and 3 was early
During the
days,
war.
so.
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic. Yeah.
Pre-pandemic.
The old times.
Is it 1 a.m. yet?
Oh god.
Oh.
That's what started the broom bar nonsense.
It was. So Mike's just suggested we actually roll the shoot and scoot as per Daryl's swim wagon Panzerschreck thing. So what was the skill rating for it?
The skill rating for the Klein Panzer Schwimmwagen is it's trained.
It's trained. Okay.
Also,
so...
I just realised, it made me laugh. It's got a assault rating of missing. So that's no assault rating. So if you get attacked by it,
Remember,
it's
it's also got integral lucky. So if you fail this, you need to re-roll.
We get a re-roll. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. Well, I got a 1, so we've got the re-roll.
Yeah.
So this is the swingy break for assault dice. And it's a 4. So there you are. We passed on the re-roll.
I'd have used the re-roll on the
remembered lucky.
I'd have used the re-roll on the cross-check, clearly.
To get out of the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So we've actually passed.
We've passed the 98/100th episode roll. Amazing. So the Armoured Train Recommend podcast you've been listening to was Shoot and Scoot, the Flames of War podcast, and the team at Breakthrough Assault.co.uk. It was brought to you by support from Battlefield Hobbies, Dice of War, Frontline Terrain, and the fact we made it to 100, but Princess Diana died in the attempt.
Or was she only doing like 70?
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, baby. Welcome to Shoot and Scoot.
Do the Barry White voice. That'd be awesome.
Nice.
But like in a West Country accent. All right,
we liver.
Welcome to
Did I
Shoot
just
and
do
Scoot.
that?
Shoot and Scoot. I'm the adorable voice Parnell.
Yeah, giggle. Like that.
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Is that what it sounds like?
No.
Funny enough, there's 100 episodes where you can hear exactly what you sound like. Just for
I never re-listen.
I never
Definitely some kind of maniac to re-listen to the podcast.
Hello.
Like, 5 times. Hi.